Well, would you look at that? So here we are. It's Tuesday. Hello, everybody who've already tuned in. I'm waiting on Kevin. He's having a couple issues, I guess. So in the meantime, I figured we just get all the kind of, the nitty gritty, the stuff that we always tend to struggle with. I get that out of the way first. So it's Tuesday. This is Japanese Knife 101. It's Knifewear's Ask Me Anything, I guess. You've just got me for the moment, which hopefully the questions don't get too hard. But every Tuesday we get together. We're doing this at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Time right now. Pushed it back a little bit earlier. Seemed to work for a lot more people. So that's what we're doing. Hanging out, talking about kitchen knives. We often have a bit of a theme. Today's theme was Sujihikis and Yanagibas. Why do you need both? What's the point of both? Oh, hello, Edgar. Edgar's watching over on YouTube. So, Sujihikis, Yanagibas. You can ask anything, though. It doesn't have to be about that. If you're trying to pick out a new knife, maybe something's going wrong with the knife you have, you're curious about some sharpening stuff, whatever the case may be, feel free to jump in and throw your questions in the comments, and then I'll do my best to get to them. I'm wondering when Kevin was having some sort of computer problems, so he'll get to us eventually, I suppose. So I suppose this is the point where I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe if you enjoy hanging out and you want to know when we're doing stuff. We do 3 live videos a week. We do this one, and then we do one where Francis and Owen in the Vancouver store, they do some sharpening, and then Naoto does some more advanced sharpening and more advanced kind of nerd knife stuff on Fridays. So we've got 7:15 Mountain Time for Owen and Francis doing their sharpening knife in Canada. And then we've got, I think it's 3 p.m. Mountain Time for Naoto's Nerdy Power Hour. I think that's what we call it. I can't really remember. So I guess that's that. What else we got? We got YouTube stuff coming out all the time. We're gonna show a video a little bit later on about Sujihikis. Some that you might want to look at, that kind of thing. It ties in well because I think the fellas on Thursday night are doing some Sujihiki sharpening as well. So bit of a theme this week. We did get from our St. Paddy's Day episode where Kevin and I were drinking, we did get a little bit of fan mail. We'll probably wait for Kevin to go over that. We also got reprimanded by Chris Armitage. He has told me to stop telling people to unlike and unsubscribe. Apparently that's not what you're supposed to do. So, there's Jeevan. Hey, Jeevan, are you waiting to come in here? There he is.
Hey, bud.
What a surprise.
I figured since Kevin's missing, I could fill in for a minute.
Yeah, you may as well hang out.
Why not? I'm at the computer all day.
Yeah, why not? Right? I don't know where he was. The last thing he said is, "My internet's not working the way it's supposed to," and then he disappeared. So, Ted is asking, can you update handle scales at the Ottawa store or only Edmonton? Do you mean like for a straight razor, Ted, or do you mean like on a Western style knife? Because I don't really do much woodworking here. What do you mean? Do you mean on a razor? Do you mean on a knife? So when he says scale, where's a knife? Here we'll use this knife. When he says scales, you can kind of see on this Western handle here, that's what you call each piece of wood on the outside of the tang, right? The tang is the piece of metal that runs right through. It's hard. The camera's a lot farther away.
Looks good, though.
Yeah. Any Japanese knife. So any Japanese knife, yeah, I can swap the handle on a Japanese knife here. If you've got one that you like or you've already kind of sourced one, we can do that. We've got some kicking around the store as well. You can always get in one of those fancy custom ones too. They just take time. Take time to get them. Cost a little bit extra, but
I need to get a
crazy.
Knifewear banner like you if I'm gonna stream from here. I don't really have nothing
Oh,
really
I know.
Knifewear in my bedroom
I
here.
know. No, you do have the red most of a person there.
Yeah, that's my wife.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
She's quiet.
Yeah, Vancouver is a crazy place.
Yeah, it is, man. Wild
So,
stuff goes down here.
Oh, Kevin's trying to call. Let's see what Kevin
Oh.
has to say. Hi, Kevin. How are you? I put you on speakerphone.
Chris Lord.
Yeah.
I can't seem to get into this live video.
No, eh? Here.
Why have you locked me out?
I've done nothing different than any other week.
Is it because Jeevan's there?
Jeevan, well, here, I'll just email you a link.
Why did he show up and take my spot?
Well, he's a
Someone's
troublemaker, I suppose.
Is this
Yeah.
because of the letter from Chris Lord or for Chris Armitage? Are we in trouble?
We might be getting replaced. I think this might be the first step to us
I need to
being
work on
replaced.
my studio then. If that's the case, I gotta build a studio.
Yeah.
Be professional this week, okay?
I'll try. This beer that I've got out, I'll put it away so no one sees it.
Yeah, be professional. Don't put us in trouble again.
All right, I won't get us in trouble. I sent you the link though. You should be able to get in. Oh,
Yeah,
hang on. So maybe
I'm
that
just a
works.
placeholder.
Yeah. So, a custom green handle in the Twitter post. Ted, send me an email. Send me an email, and I'll see if I can get you that particular handle. We'll see if it's still around, or if it's something, we can get you something like it. They take a bit of time. Those custom handles are, I believe, they're about $120, and then it costs about $20 to put on the handle, on the knife. Those ones take quite a bit of work. So
Those the handles for garage sale, like those ones.
yeah. So they come from a
I'll-
guy. Yeah, his name is Dustin. I can never remember his Instagram stuff,
Right.
but he makes cool stuff. We've been talking a lot about, we got those Kuroshu and Shiroshu Hanasukis. Have you seen the koi ones
Oh,
yet?
there we go.
Well, Kevin's back. There he is.
Should pop.
Hi,
There we
Kevin.
go.
I'm just showing off this koi Hanasuki because they're in the store.
Oh,
I was just
those
a placeholder, so I can take off now.
Yeah, get back to work, Jeevan.
What are you
Alright,
doing,
let's see.
Steven?
I was covering for you. Lordy was crashing. Someone needed to bail him out.
Please don't tell Chris Armitage what happened.
I will never tell Chris Armitage what happened. Chris is busy right now, anyways. Okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna tune in. But bye, guys.
bye.
Later. So yeah, I don't know. There we go. You know what? It's not Japanese Knife 101 if it all goes to plan.
Hey, but I'm here. I'm sorry. I got
You made
all lost. My computer
made it.
decided to have a hard time.
There we go. Oh, that's loud. Oh, wow.
Did you hear that weird sound?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, wasn't it?
That's a bit weird. So, I've already told everyone to like and subscribe, and that we've been asked to stop saying unlike and unsubscribe.
Right. Dislike and unsubscribe. Got it.
Dislike and unsubscribe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talked a little bit about the other videos that we do during the week. We've got that's about as far as I got, to be honest.
Oh.
But today we are supposed to talk about Sujihikis versus Yanagibas
Yes.
and why you might want more than one.
Look what I brought.
Oh, you've got a Sujihiki and a Yanagiba right there.
Isn't that unusual?
Isn't that unusual? So I guess, I don't know, if everyone I think knows at this point, I've said it once or twice, that you can jump in with any kind of question. It doesn't just have to be about Yanagibas and Sujihikis. It doesn't even really need to be about knives. There's some people talking about music in the comments right now. That's all right. We like music too. But, anything food, knife maintenance, kitchen, anything kitchen related, really, is fair game. I'll probably give you like a reasonable answer. But yeah, don't be shy. We'll do our best to get to all the questions. And we'll try to not meander too hard. We probably will in the end. We have some things to go over. So
Chris, why would you want a Yanagiba? Or why would you want a Sujihiki?
Well, I've been thinking about this quite a bit because I don't actually own a Yanagiba. I've never really used one properly because I've never bought one because Yanagibas being like a single bevel knife, you need to be right or left-handed, and generally left-handed single bevel knives cost 30% more than its right-handed counterpart.
Sometimes 100% more.
Yeah, it depends on who makes it. And like we always have a smattering of lefty single bevels in the stores, but I'm kind of waiting. Like if I'm gonna buy one, like if I'm gonna buy a single bevel knife, it's because it's really, really cool. Like I'm not gonna buy one just like I'm kind of waiting for like a left-handed single bevel knife to show up in garage sale. You know what I mean? Like that's
you're looking for a lefty knife.
Yeah. So
different from a left-handed cigarette.
That's correct, which we're not supposed to do that anymore either.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Should I read this email that Chris sent us?
I don't think it's a very good email. I think it was us getting in a lot of trouble.
We did get, but there's some pretty. I think there's some points that I need to address.
We got some fan mail. We got some fan mail.
We did get. Should I start with the fan mail?
We got our first piece of fan mail. I'm just going to eat olives while we're talking about fan mail.
Yeah. So, now I can't recall the person's name. It's not written down here. But they sent to Chris, because we did say, if you've any complaints, address them to Chris Armitage at knifewear.com. Mm-hmm. And the email that he got was, have you seen the two goofs getting drunk on your YouTube channel? It's been going on for more than 2 hours of nonsense. I do suspect they went left-handed. Should clearly bring this up in their performance review. So, Armitage forwards this to us and says, this has been noted on both of your personnel files as an official warning. Drinking will not be tolerated on company time. It was also brought to my attention there was an increase of foul language and much deviation from the recommended talking points. You are not to encourage viewers to dislike and unsubscribe. Further tomfoolery and unprofessional behavior will result in disciplinary actions. And I'm not aware of what the slang left-handed is referring to, but I suspect it may be in reference to other intoxicants. Please note that this is also deemed unacceptable. Well, for the record, I'm in charge of the personnel files. So I've gone ahead and erased that.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
Yeah. So we're good. You can keep. And just go right back to it.
Okay. Continue being good. All right, yeah. Chris. We should talk about Yanagibas versus. What's the difference between a Yanagiba and a Sujihiki?
Well, Sujihiki they're both roughly the same size. Here, if I got a Sujihiki, right. Of course I didn't. I didn't come prepared like Kevin did. But generally speaking,
that will go on your personnel file.
Yeah, I'll erase it again. It's fine. You know, for something to go on a personnel file, I need to be the one to put it there. So, nice try, Chris, trying to trick me into ratting myself out. So, a Yanagiba and a Sujihiki, surface level, they're for the same thing, right? They're both intended for slicing meat of some kind, fish,
Mm-hmm.
Yanagibas are really good for fish. Sujihikis are a little more of an all-rounder, I guess.
Yeah.
That's usually that's where I kind of draw the line. I was thinking about this quite a bit. So Rob Nguyen has asked, can you slice roast meats with a Yanagiba? Of course you can. Of course you can. Super thin too, right? Don is saying that he's interested in the Yanagiba discussion. Has a number of slicers, but no Yanagiba. So essentially, I think if you wanted this, I'm just kind of referencing my own knife kit when I think about this. But I have several, and I've got some single-purpose knives, but I purchased them that way. It's not that they couldn't be used for other things. I think if you wanted something only for slicing and slicing really thin, super precise all the time, a Yanagiba is the way to go. If you wanted something if you're a professional cook, Kevin and I come from a very similar professional background. The way I know, semi, I went to school, I guess. I always used a Sujihiki to fillet a fish. So I don't know how to use a deba. I never really learned. And that whole left-handedness kind of plays a role in that too. But I've always used a longer knife to clean a fish. Take the fillet off, the belly, the skin, the whole thing. So that's kind of the big difference for me, is that if I wanted something to do a little bit more of everything, I would go for the Sujihiki. But if I was leaning more on fish, I would say Yanagiba is the way to go. But it still works well for boneless meats. I don't know that I would grab a Yanagiba to carve it. If I was carving a turkey and I was leaving the whole bird whole, I think I'd be more comfortable with a Sujihiki than a Yanagiba. But if I had taken the breasts off and maybe the legs were a boneless little roast or something like that, I think a Yanagiba would do a really good job.
You know what? I use my Yanagiba for loads of stuff, but it's always got to be boneless, right? I'll take the breast off a turkey and then slice it, right? I've done lots of raw fish, which is what it's intended for. But I worked at a restaurant called St. John in London for a long time, and we did a lot of offal. So I would be slicing livers with my Yanagiba. Yanagiba is a great liver slicer, by the way. I'll even slice steaks with my Yanagiba. Yeah. I think it's just sharper, right?
They're really good with
more of a cutting machine.
Yeah, with really delicate stuff. And that has to do with we talked about it a little bit last week, when it comes the conversation around surface area, right? That's why we like a Sujihiki as opposed to a Gyuto, because a Gyuto generally has more. Well, here I do have a Gyuto. So that's a 270 Kumo Gyuto. Right. If this was a Sujihiki, you could probably take that much of the knife off, right? It would be, 2/3 to half as tall. So then when you're bringing it through the fish or the meat, there's less surface area to grab onto the meat and then pull it apart on you while you're slicing it. The way single bevels are ground is that on the back of the knife, it only touches the borders of the blade because it's ever so slightly concave. So there's even less surface area. So the more gentle slicing that you require, the better a Yanagiba is going to be for it. And they're just really cool looking. There's a lot of really cool ones.
Right? They're super cool. So, Chris, so you know, I'm totally locked out of putting up any messages today or clicking on. I'm totally locked out of all that.
Oh, wow. I don't know why that is.
I'm here as a guest. I'm no longer a moderator. I think Chris Armitage has locked me out.
I don't think I don't know. I didn't do it.
I think he's decided that I was the unprofessional problem here, that I just get up and leave the screen whenever I feel like it. And, open windows so my lighting's better. I think he told me that my hair was too shaggy.
I shaved today.
Very nice. I did not.
Look, I shaved out the guts. That's why I call my
Did you go
chin
like
that.
how far did you go?
Right down.
Is there like a stripe all the way?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
You'll probably go faster.
oh yeah, I'm like a seal. I'll just right through the pond. It's getting warm here. It's getting warm in Ottawa.
Is it
I rode
warm
my
in Ottawa?
motorcycle 4 days in a row.
Did you really?
Yeah, I brought it to work today and yesterday. It's supposed to get cold and a bit rainy tomorrow. Don't know that I'm and I seem to have lost my rain suit. Like, so I've got these, like, my saddlebags on the bike, and I've got like this waterproof liner, and I stick my
Right.
toolkit and my rain suit in the waterproof liner with like an extra pair of socks and whatever, and I do it up and stick it in the saddlebag. Now I must have taken it out and put it somewhere because I'm missing.
Oh no!
I'm missing one waterproof liner, one pair of rain pants, one rain jacket, and a toolkit. I can't find any of these things, so I have to assume that they're all together. So, kind of pissed off about that because that's my own dumb fault. I've put it somewhere. There's a good chance it's in my dad's garage for some reason, but I don't know.
That's a weird place to be.
Or someone stole it because the saddlebags just have buckles, but I don't know why anyone would steal it. Who knows? Brian saying, speaking of sharper, just started using my new Denka Gyuto, and I felt like Kevin when I planted it into my cutting board. It's just so sharp. You should tell that story, Kevin.
Nice.
I like that story about the first time you got to use a Japanese knife.
Well, I don't know if he was referencing the first time I used a Japanese knife or the first time I used my Gyuto, my Denka Gyuto.
Yeah.
Because the first time I used a Japanese knife, I was at a chef's convention in London, England. And there was a guy there, and he had all these Japanese knives. And I said, why are these so expensive? He goes, oh, well, they're pretty good. Try one. So I took it, and I gave it that whole wind up to cut a tomato that you have to do with a dull blade. And then just blasted through this tomato and gunk, stuck it in the board. It was a really soft plastic board. I planted it in there and had to pull it out. And I was sold at that moment.
Yeah.
But that's also when I felt complete shame that I had to put in so much pressure to cut a tomato, basing it on the experience I'd had with my previous knives.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when I learned something. Or, because he said he planted his cutting board, or was he talking about the first time I used a Denka Gyuto? I brought it home, brand new knife, very expensive knife for me at the time. And I brought it home, and dinner was already ready, and I grabbed it, and there was a radish. So I grabbed a radish out of the fridge, and then 99 slices of a radish with this beautiful Gyuto that I didn't need to buy, and I didn't need to cut the radish. And then I went to brought it over to the sink to wash it, and as I did, the tip just went clang right on the top, and I broke a big chunk of the tip off of my most expensive knife at that time, the first seconds that I used it. So that was pretty good. I felt good about that. I kept that broken tip for a long time, just to remind me that I'm not smart.
Yeah, I've done that too. My Denka Nikiri, I was chopping green onions. I've been working at the store. I've been working at Knifewear. This is a pretty funny story, actually. I've been working at Knifewear for, well, today is my work anniversary. So.
Oh, really?
It is, yeah. Today is 6 years for me.
We've put up with you for 6 years?
I know. But when did Fujiwara come? Fujiwara was visiting Calgary that year in July, correct?
Yeah, it would have been that year.
Yeah, so I had worked at the store for, I don't know, 5 or 6 months at that point. And I knew I wanted a Denka, and I saved up for it, and I bought this, it was one of the first wah-handled Denkas I'd ever seen. And so wah, like the Japanese handle, right? And then I was asked if I would go back and help out at the restaurant I worked at before I came to the store. So my buddy was still the chef there, and I think he had to go out of town. As you know, one of his parents had to go to the hospital or something like that. So something routine, nothing to really get too worried about. And he had asked if I would come in a morning shift and just do the pastry chef's job. Like, I made the desserts for the weekend, and I was supposed to just help out on the lunch line a little bit, like, you know, put together a couple of salads, something like that. But it was mostly prep. And I had said, okay. And I remember calling I was living out of town at the time, and I was driving in. I got caught up in traffic, and I phoned the sous chef, and I said, "Hey, Amanda, I'm on my way, and I'm going to be a couple minutes late. Like, I got stuck in traffic, but I'll be there. I'm not like I'm sorry." And then they Al just popped by in his cycling regalia. Wow.
Ooh,
you're a real
Yeah. Is he all speedy?
See if he runs away. Look at him over here.
Wow, look how fast he looks. Just standing still, he looks fast.
Yeah, just standing still. Fastest.
You know, I went for a bike ride today. I'm currently wearing my favorite bike riding attire.
Oh yeah. See, the sad thing is, I told Alex if he was going to come around here today, I wanted a nice coffee, and I didn't get one. So no, he didn't want to buy one for everybody, so he didn't bring me one.
You've got beer there.
It's true. It's true. I do have this beer. So anyways, I'm driving into the restaurant. Jesus, I can't stay on track. Okay, I'm driving into the restaurant. I'm going to be late. And she says, about that, lunch cook called in sick. Do you mind working the line? And I was like, oh, for Christ's sake. I didn't want to, but I wasn't gonna not, you know?
Yeah.
So I went, and I helped do a bunch of prep. I had green onions. So I needed green onions for something for lunch. And I cut up like 8 bunches of green onions, not realizing how delicate a denka really can be. And lots of chopping and swiping and chopping and swiping. Then I looked back, and I was missing a whole bunch of little bits of my knife. I felt pretty friggin' dumb.
Bit heavy-handed, hey?
Yeah, but then I took it out on all the servers, so it's fine. You know, that was the day where, I think I've told you about this before. We didn't have a bell or anything at the gastropub. We'd just yell like, "Hey, pick up," you know? And I'd yell. Everyone got 2 tries. Like, I'd yell it once, I'd yell it twice, and then they had 5 seconds, and then I'd run it myself. And I worked there for years, right? I know the table numbers and everything. So I started bringing the food out myself. And none of the servers knew who I was. They didn't know I was the old sous chef. They just thought I was the friend of a friend helping out. And I started like running the food myself and shooting dirty looks. And the front of house manager is this guy, Jamal. And they said, "Well, you've gone and pissed him off now. He's just going to do it for you. Just stay out of his way. Make sure you tip him out at the end of the shift." So that was the day I chipped my denka for the first time.
Well, that's nice. So, it's always good to chip your denka right away when you get it.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. So, Brian, you be careful, and don't you do that, because that's bad. Someone did have a question. Awesome Dave had a question. Do you do anything differently when honing a single bevel knife?
Oh, lots of different things.
Yeah, what do you do differently, Kevin?
Well, I don't use a honing rod for a single bevel at all.
No.
I use a leather strop.
Okay.
Do you have one of those? Can you show us how to do it? I don't have a leather strop here. I can go get one out of the kitchen.
No, I've got one really close.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
So yeah, when I'm using my Sujihiki, I will use the honing rod.
Yeah.
Or a leather strop. Either works. But with a single bevel knife, like you see this one here, if you can, I don't know if you can see it down this way. You know, it's hard to see, but it's only sharpened on the one side. Anyway, it's like a chisel. It's like a really long chisel. And if you do this, or use a honing rod, you're really going to damage the edge. So what you want to do is you want to take the leather strop like Chris has got there. And what strop is that?
That's our guitar pedal, our guitar neck.
Oh, that's cool. The guitar one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so what you'd want to do is nice kind of. I don't know how well you can see this. I'm not used to that. We've moved the camera, and now I don't know where to look anymore. So just kind of gently, just kind of leading with the spine, and being very gentle.
And you don't just put it flat on this bevel here. You put it flat and then 2 degrees up, 3 degrees up, just like a little bit up.
Quite shallow.
And then almost flat on the back.
Now, if someone doesn't have a leather strop, but they have a single bevel knife, can they use a honing rod if they're being careful?
I never do. I wouldn't. You can use an 8,000 grit sharpening stone and just give it a quick.
Yeah.
But no, you don't want to use the honing rod. I don't think that would be very wise.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be very wise.
And then our buddy TJ Ronan, haven't seen them in a while, but they did comment that they like that we've returned to a more reasonable time, he said. Thinking of the 140 Atoma diamond plate with handle to add to my waterstones. Is this a good grit to start off with? That Atoma diamond plate is good for if you've got big chunks of steel missing and you got a lot of material to take off. Otherwise, I generally use that to keep all my stones super flat.
Yeah, I don't like sharpening on the diamond stones at all. They leave big gouges. They sound terrible. They feel terrible. I'm a fan of this. I start all of my knives with this guy.
The 220, yeah.
220, right? That's what I start my knives with. This pink guy. It doesn't leave such deep scratches that you have forever to work on the next knife. Because the other thing about these, the thing is, like, every time you sharpen with a coarse stone, there's going to be gouges left over that you have to remove with the next stone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like the scratches left on the steel.
I would say almost microscopic, but it's not even on those really coarse stones. You can see it. It looks like scratches. But then you have to remove the steel enough to remove those scratches, right? So you don't want a coarse stone that really gouges up your knife too bad. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of work on the next stone, right? So I look for stones that cut steel quickly, but don't leave really, really coarse and big grooves. So the Knifewear 220, now it's when I worked for 3 years to get these, to get the stones that we wanted, to get the stones where we wanted them. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. It's not the most expensive coarse stone you can buy, but I think it's the best one, especially if you're going to follow it with our 1000, which is pretty soft, which means it's not going to remove the scratches well, but it's really good at giving that smoky kasumi finish. So if you see this blade here, you can see the edge is shinier than, so this surface here is a little bit smoky and the edge is really shiny. That's done with our 1000. I didn't even work very hard on that, but I did that with.
Oh, that 1000 grit stone, like, because I don't, like, I'll admit it, I don't fuss around too much.
Well, you and I are pretty pragmatic.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like sharpening, but, like, I want my knives to be really sharp. I get less fussy about what they look like when I'm done. Like, if I can get, like, a nice look to, like, I don't want them to look like trash, but at the same time, I'm not trying to achieve mirrors or anything like that. So
I like them to look good enough.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. But if you take your time on that 220 and then you do a good job on the 1000, you can get a really nice foggy look to the knife. Just let a lot of mud build up on the stone while you're working, and it works really well. Our friend Fred has asked, how do you determine angle for the Denka, or anything for that matter, when using a leather strop?
The angle it's sharpened at is pretty low, and I go a little bit higher when I'm stropping.
Yeah.
A little bit, just like a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And that's
So
it.
long as
You're just
not-
trying to get rid of, because as you cut with your knife, right? As you like cut, the edge will get bent over a little bit, one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
And when it's bent over like that, you just need to use the strop to straighten it up again.
push it back.
You
Yeah.
don't want it bent over, you want it straight. And that's all the strop's really doing. It's also removing a tiny bit of steel right from the edge. But if you've loaded it up with a bit of that green rubbing compound that we sell, which is also what they use for polishing the knives, which is also what they use for polishing jewels, that will give you just a really slick edge. And Damon says, strop in a quiet space and listen to the steel. I've never sharpened my knives in a place that quiet. I'll hear the stones. Like when I'm sharpening with a 4,000 grit or higher stone, I know when to stop because I'll hear shh, 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 and then eventually it just goes like this. And it gets real quiet. You don't hear that like snap and pops because there's like, it goes shh, 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 shh. But in that shh, 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 there's also pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
And when all those little pops disappear, and you can feel them too when you're sharpening. When all those little pop, pop, pop sounds disappear and it feels really smooth, you're done. And you just go to the other side then, or onto the next stone. So that's like 4,000 grit and up. Now, after a lot of experience, you'll be able to hear it and feel it on all the stones as well. But you really have to do a lot of sharpening.
Yeah. Yeah, if you lift, and what Damon is saying is if you go too high, it makes more of a scraping sound. And that's what I was going to kind of chime in with, was you want to make sure that you are going low. Like the leather is going to give in to the steel. In the end, you don't need to worry too much about doing any damage to your knife, even if you are off by a little bit. But if you're like just up and down going, like if you're perpendicular, it's just like scraping it on a cutting board.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah. So,
Ellipsis says more as Mister. What does that mean?
No, that's ASMR. I had to get my
as Mister.
Yeah, it's when
those videos where it sounds weird, like somebody's chewing celery in your ears or something.
Yeah, I think people find them calming. I can't imagine much of what we do, people finding calming. So, and then Admiral asked if you load the strop for a Yanagiba. For sure. When I've got one of those paddle strops, like with either side, I just always make sure I got like not a ton. I don't like caking it on, but like a healthy amount of compound on the suede. And then I always leave the smooth leather smooth. I never add anything to it.
Bluetooth mode.
So. Oh, Kevin making the sharpening sounds were very relaxing, Kevin.
So, how about if I talk into this?
Oh, Jesus, that thing.
Chris, it's my karaoke microphone. Yay!
Yeah. Ellipses, you can always ask us any question you want. Whenever you like.
Oh, yeah, that's all this is about. This is just a fancy version of a really fancy, high-class, pretty snooty version of an Ask Me Anything with a tiny bit of knives in. And sometimes we talk about Switzerland. So if you're Swiss, you're going to really like it. I, unfortunately, Chris, can't press the buttons today.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying it, to be honest.
I can't press the buttons that make the I can't press the button that says "Ask me anything about Switzerland."
No,
for example.
No. Well, do you know much about Switzerland, Kevin?
I don't. But the flag's a big plus.
See, I did that for you.
That's kind of you.
I dug deep and did that. So
well, it's pretty funny.
It's okay the first time.
Oh, it gets funnier.
It does it. I'm waiting for the flip. So, I've got some options here. I'm gonna. I have no idea what Ellipses is talking about with the creepy mask. There's the coffee. It's called Guilt.
I had iced coffee today. I was in Calgary, and it was -10, and I drank hot coffee outside till it was frozen.
Ah, nice. Don Penny, I have real things to discuss, so you stay out of it, Don Penny.
Oh, Don, what I'm saying about that, Don, is that if you look at the Switzerland flag, it's red with a big white plus sign in it, like a cross, but it's more like a real perfect addition sign. Yeah, it looks like that. So what I'm saying, Don, is, see, the joke is the flag's a big plus because the flag looks like a large addition sign. It's a big plus sign. It's a big plus. See, but big plus also means that it's something positive about whatever you're speaking about. So that's where the joke is, Don.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand that, again, I can explain it every week if you like.
Every day.
I
Many
can explain
times
that
a week.
daily.
Look at my little collection of things to drink over here. I've got some water.
I've got a collection too. I've got water, and I've got. Do you remember when Chris sent us that email scolding us?
You mean the part where he says you are not to encourage viewers to dislike and unsubscribe?
That's right.
Or the part where
everybody,
drinking will not
please like.
be tolerated on company time.
Really? What am I supposed to drink?
I don't know. When you own the company, isn't it always company time?
Yeah. See, I think he's really overstepped his boundaries here, Mr. Chris.
I think he has.
I don't know if you understand. Chris is like our producer of the show, and he sent us anyway. He sent us a very scolding email because we got a piece of bad, frankly bad viewer mail.
Yeah, I can read it again. And why don't I'll read it, and then we'll talk to Ellipses some. Have you seen the two goofs getting drunk on your YouTube channel? It's been going on for more than 2 hours of nonsense. I do suspect they went left-handed. Should clearly bring this up in their performance review.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So we've got our first piece of fan mail. So if you have fan mail, Chris, if you press the button, there's a button that has Chris Armitage's email on there, I believe.
Yeah.
But if you have any comments or viewer mail, please send to Chris Armitage. Especially if you're sending unhappy things. If you're sending nice things, send them to me and Chris. So Chris, that you're looking at over there, he spells his name the right way with a CHRIS.
This is me.
See, you can send happy messages to that one, but send all like the hate messages to the KRIS, Chris at Knifewear. That's good. So send complaints there, please. Please send now, send them, and send often. Really, send now and send often. And please, please remember to dislike and unsubscribe. That's really the important part.
Yeah, whatever you do, do not click on the bell, because then if you click on the bell, you'll get notifications that we've put up new videos.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want to know when this is happening.
No. So let's figure out what Ellipses is talking about here. So Ellipses lives too far from the store, and Owen doesn't like their favorite mask, which creeps him out. So I have to hassle you on YouTube for answers. Okay, I don't know about this mask. But I tend to never buy knives with the same steel types. That's fun. I have a real mix of carbon and stainless. And I don't know what you mean by PM blades. Oh, powdered metal.
Powder steel, yeah.
Yeah. And then what, in your opinion, a best style for each of the steel types? I tend to have far more carbon blades in larger and longer lengths. That's interesting. I've never really thought about it like that.
What's this?
So would you say, Kevin, that certain steel types make certain shapes better?
Ooh, put that question up or put that comment up and we'll think about this.
Yeah.
So do I think that a Yanagiba is better as a stainless steel or a carbon steel? I think Yanagibas as a carbon steel are way better. They're easier to sharpen and you get a better edge.
Yeah.
Right. And you're not cutting anything particularly wet or acidic. So the chance of your Yanagiba tarnishing is low. But I have to admit, this here, Yanagiba, is SRS 15 powder steel.
Yeah.
Which
But we've
is
also
not-
determined that if that knife got chipped, like there's got to be like we got to draw straws as to who's got to fix it.
If this knife gets chipped, there's work to be had.
Yeah.
There's work to be had for sure. This was a little Christmas present from my buddy Shibata-san.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I see where Ellipses is kind of going with this. So, because I would say, like, yeah, my slicers, I like carbon steel for a slicer because you don't need to worry about it as often. Like the type of work you're doing, like cutting meat, like portioning steaks, carving a roast, anything like that with a long slicer is less likely to tarnish. I think that might be. Mark Puddock is watching. Hey, Mark.
Mark Puddock used to he worked in Calgary for a long time, ran our Kelowna store. And though he's never fixed this knife, he has sharpened a ton of blades for us over the years. Hey, Mark. How you doing, bud? Good to see you.
Yeah, I would
Call
say...
me next time you're in Calgary. We'll go drink beer. And maybe we'll get your wife to pick you up again, so we'll drink too many beer.
Oh, that's fun. I bet you Mark likes to go to the Ship and Anchor, doesn't he?
Who doesn't?
Well, I've only been there once, so I don't know. But I think I was there with Mark, so I presume.
Only fools don't like to go there.
Yeah. I was telling the story today about Nathan Garrow walking in front of the Ship and Anchor and someone calling him Snidely Whiplash. You remember that day? That was hilarious.
That was good.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
So, you're just having another little sip, eh?
Well, you know what? Since I got in trouble for drinking on the show last week,
You may as well just drink on the show more.
well, I'm going to see what happens this time. Let's see if we get in trouble again.
Getting in trouble. Don't mind it. I think I just kicked over a box full of stuff. How'd I do that? I'm trying to say that I do buy knives with certain jobs in mind. A knife that I wouldn't use a carbon steel knife if I was doing like a ton of, when I worked at the gastropub, we used to always have like beef tartare on the menu. And so I wouldn't use a carbon steel knife for mincing shallots ahead of time. Because they might change color or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't use a carbon steel knife for mincing.
Pineapple.
Yeah. I think having a mix of steels is good. I don't know that I would say that certain shapes beget certain steels.
Well, I think anything single bevel is
Should go carbon.
should go carbon because it's easier to keep them sharp. It's easier to maintain them, right?
Yeah.
I just think carbon single bevel makes sense. And you know what? You know that one petty knife that does all the bad things you probably shouldn't do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should be like...
You should probably get that one in a Western handle and a stainless steel.
Yeah.
Everybody's got that, especially as chefs. You've got that petty knife that's just, it's the one you lend to people. And it's the one that does things you just know you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all the bad stuff.
Yeah, it's the one for kicking the shit out of stuff with it.
Like you might go and clean the space between the wall, the stainless steel wall, and the stainless steel counter. You might just kind of scrape in there with that.
Yeah.
Or you might stick it
French
between
it, like
frozen
French
things and kind of
yeah.
yeah, or French and a lamb.
Yeah. Anything where you're, scraping on a bone or whatnot.
Yeah. So I think get a stainless one for all of those dumb moves with a Western handle for a petty. Get all your single bevels carbon steel, unless you're not the one sharpening it. If you aren't, then get this SRS 13 or SRS 15. Yeah. And then make, for example, Alex sharpen it, or Chris Armitage, who you should send emails to if you don't like what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Also, I just looked, Chris, and we have 15 likes on this video, which is probably a record for us. So
That's a record, especially
so Chris
because we
Armitage-
haven't gone. I haven't gone and liked it myself yet.
Chris
And
Armitage says we're supposed to ask for likes and subscribing, but if you like it, we'll continue. So that's a problem. And if you subscribe, you'll know when we post more crap. So probably you should dislike and unsubscribe. That's probably the best thing to do. But we're told we're supposed to try to like and subscribe. Also, I just recently got a text from Chris Armitage, said, quit drinking on camera. Well, he didn't text you, so that's probably good.
I'm not even. I got my phone flipped over. It's like we're out for lunch. But to go back to Ellipses, they've been hesitant. They want to buy. I presume a TF 120 Petty is a Teriyasu Fujiwara in Shirogami, but I don't know why I'm hesitant. Maybe it's just that I don't have anything in carbon under 180. I'd say just go for it. Those are fun. My sister-in-law got one of those. She was given some money for Christmas, wanted to buy a new knife, and that's what felt right. She went home with a Mabaroshi 120. And I suspect she's going to be very happy with that. Yeah,
that's a fun little knife. You know, I've got a Denka one. I got a Denka 120 with a weird antler handle, and I really like it. But I don't do bad things to it.
Yeah,
and it's one of my favorite knives. If somebody's going to throw a camera at me and I have to cut something up because the handle's so wild.
Yeah, that's like my my 270 mirror Gyuto. That's when I use that knife.
You and I got matching of that, hey?
Yeah, well, remember, so when I moved
into who else has that? Is Naoto. Naoto and you and I have the same knife. Yeah,
yeah. Wow. I must have good taste. That must be Armitage. Some of us are working in the shop at this time. It makes it hard to keep tabs on you two. Maybe we don't need tabs kept on us.
Can we block viewers?
We can, yeah. I found this thing. If you click on the little, you can block user on YouTube. I can put them in a timeout, or I can add them to a block list. Keep that in mind, folks. Oh, hey, Bob Smith
who I always thought was Robert Smith from The Cure. I'm going to still think it's Robert Smith from The Cure.
Yeah.
He says, long time no see. Apparently he sent me something in the post, but it arrived at the knife shop today, so I'll have to go down to the knife shop and get it.
Ooh.
Well, the amount I'm drinking, I don't think I can. I'll have to ride my bike down there today.
It'll have to be a wobbly ride. So I've got an idea for our next step here. I've got some photos that people have sent us.
Ooh, I'd like that.
The week. So I've got a couple like Aaron here sent me some photos. Our buddy Fred in Pennsylvania sent me a photo. And there was someone named David who I'm not sure if David uses a pseudonym on here or whatnot, but got some of their knives too. And we've got we have a YouTube video that is going to go up tomorrow on YouTube, but we could watch it today. So we got both of those things that I would like to do, but I don't care which one we do first. You want to look at a couple of photos, watch a video, look at the other photos?
First, I want to say Bob Smith from The Cure. Thanks for sending me a little package. I don't know what it is, but I can't wait to see. So I'm going to go there right after this and collect it.
Oh, Mark Puttock says he'll meet you at the shop if you ride your bike there. Mark must be in Calgary.
Are you in Calgary, Mark Puttock? If you're in Calgary, we should probably meet up tomorrow for lunch. Anyway, that's personal.
So what do we want to do? You want to look at a couple of photos, watch the video, and then look at a couple more photos?
Sounds good to me.
Here, I'll start with Fred, because Fred was the first one to send me the picture. So here's a shot of our buddy Fred Bashara's knives.
Woo.
So he's got some fun toys. So I'm just gonna.
Can you name all those guys? That's.
I think I can. I think we've got.
Go left to right.
Left to right. So we've got a Denka. I'm gonna guess that is a it's a 165 Santoku Denka. We've got a 210 Koishi Gyuto. a 165 Koishi Nikiri, which would then put us at a 130 Moritaka
150.
petty. Oh, you think it's a 150? Oh, yeah. Look at it beside the bunka there. And then we got a Kumo bunka. That looks like a Takamura. I can't. Is it on a black handle? Looks like a black handle. If it's a black handle,
I think it's a Goma. I think it's a
that's a Goma?
Hadayuki. No, I think it's a Hadayuki Mugi.
no, maybe. I can't tell.
You think it's a Takamura?
I think it's one of those Tsuchime Takamuras, but I can't tell with the color because I'm not good at colors. This
What's the
next guy over, I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna say it's a cut Brooklyn.
Cut Brooklyn. Oh, if that's a red handle, thank you, Fred. If that's a red handle, I bet you that's one of those special edition R2 Tsuchime ones. Yes.
Good job. And
Yeah.
then the steel handle thing. I think that's an Aussie knife called a Fury or a Furry.
Okay. Yeah, that one I don't know. And then we've got.
And then I think you've got a Wusthof Icon. I don't think it is. But that's my guess. And a global bread knife, and then those Tojiro scissors.
Yeah, I've got the same bread knife.
Do you really?
I have one. Yeah, I've got the Tojiro Senko bread knife now, but I had that one for years. I liked it, but my only issue is that it's very short. It's a very, very short bread knife. It's good for baguettes and not much more, in my opinion. I struggled with it. But that's a solid kit, Fred. Oh, it's Misen.
How is that?
Is it this? Sorry, is this not the stainless one, but the other one is a Misen? Oh, that makes sense now. I've sharpened a few. They're okay.
I've never seen one. I've only seen the ads that come on Instagram. And they say it's the best knife in the world. So I've been curious about it because if it's the best knife in the world, I've been concerned that if that's the best knife in the world, we're wasting our time. So that did scare me a little bit. Not really.
Fred says Misen is terrible. Let's just.
Well, there's that.
There's that. So that's your. We'll call that there, and this will come up a little later. Just use the Misen as your decoy knife, Fred. Here. So let's look at this. This is one of David's lineups.
Yes.
So I'll let you do this one because it looks harder.
Well, I'm back. I went away. Okay, on the top is a one of them butter curlers. And then we've got I'm going to call it a Cutco, but it's not. And then we've got a Shun, but it's the one that you can only get at Crate and Barrel. And then it's I was going to say it's a Sugimori, except there's a sticker on it, so I don't know. Then there's a Fujiwara Nishiji with a Western handle.
Yeah.
A Koishi, Moskagi Koishi Hanasuki, a large wood cutting board, and then a cute little butter knife with a smiley face on it. It's adorable. It's adorable.
I have the same. That's the Hanasuki that I have.
Well, do you really?
Yeah. That's fun. I got Damon. Damon sent me one too, which I'll put up after.
Just to break into this thing, I bought these new glasses.
Okay.
They don't fit my face right, but they're made out of a record, so that's good.
Do you know what record it is?
That's how hipster I am. I don't know this one. Unfortunately, I have 3 pairs of glasses from this company that makes glasses out of records. And it's not because I like records so much, it's because I really like their frames. But these ones I'm kind of struggling with, so I think I'll go tomorrow. Get them fixed.
Get them tuned up.
Get them tuned up. Ride my bike down there.
Sometimes I get tuned up. That's called drinking to me. but I don't do that at
Their
work
Dave
anymore.
said that is a Sugimori that he got at Kapabashi. The shop puts extra engraving on it. Well, there you go.
Wow.
I guess I was.
I was in
right.
Kapabashi. I went to
I was in
Kapabashi one time.
I saw a Kappa.
Yeah. Did you see that Nathan's put it on our schedule that we're to talk about King Kappa in a couple weeks' time? Did you see that?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, here, you know what? Now that I've figured out how to do stuff, why don't I put up let's put this up, and then I'll show you guys the new, our next round of schedule. And then we'll watch a video, and then we'll look at more people's knives. And then if you have any questions at any moment, just pop them in. So look, we got on April 6th, how often should I sharpen my knives? Apparently on the 13th is the long-awaited French fry episode, so I wouldn't hold your breath for that.
Why is it long awaited? What's going on there, Chris?
Well, there was a day where you were talking about the only way you make French fries is the Heston Blumenthal triple cooked method, and makes the best French fries, that sort of thing. And a bunch of people asked us to do it. A bunch of people asked us to do it, and then we said we were going to do it. And I think we were even set up to do it, but we just never bothered. I think it was like how on Jimmy Kimmel's show, like at the end, he always says, "My apologies to Matt Damon, we didn't have time tonight."
Oh, poor Matt never gets on that show.
Yeah. So then we're going to do another customer knife kit show and tell. Maybe we'll have some people share the screen with us, or you can always send your photos in. And then the King Kappa story. So that's just I like just calling it the King Kappa story. Well, it's kind of like the spaghetti incident,
Yes, the King Kappa story. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
Do you know what a Kappa is, Chris? Do you have any idea what they look like?
I do, yeah.
What is a Kappa? What does it look like?
They're like a turtle monster that eats your children in Japan. This guy over here on this arm. Now mine's wearing a crown, which he is the king. This is the King Kappa. But there is no King Kappa in Japanese mythology, so don't bother harassing me about that. King Kappa is King Kappa got us into a lot of trouble one day. So
King Kappa got us a free bottle of champagne one day.
King Kappa did get us a free bottle of champagne one day. I don't think it was supposed to be free. I don't think it was for us. The free bottle of champagne.
Listen, my favorite streaming network or service is Crave.
They did give us a bottle of Veuve Clicquot once.
Because they gave us a bottle of Veuve Clicquot and a bunch of food.
Yeah. I
don't know who they thought we were, but they were wrong who we were. But they still gave us a free bottle of Veuve Clicquot at the Banff Springs Fairmont Hotel. Looking down the valley in the Rundle room, in the Rundle bar. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And we sat there and drank our champagne and ate the beautiful food that she brought us, because for some reason Crave thought we were important. And then we escaped, waved to non-existent people, and skedaddled.
Yep. That was the same day I wasn't watching where I was going, and I almost bowled over the guy from Will and Grace.
That poor little guy, you'd have killed him.
Yeah. Yes, there was coffee everywhere. I damn near killed him. He bounced right off of me.
Well, he's only little.
He's only little. He's only normal sized.
I almost killed Tom Cochran that way one day.
Yeah, he's also little.
He was coming out of the Harley Davidson diner across from our old store in Calgary, and I was coming in, but I was in a hurry because I'd left my store open. I just wanted to come in there and grab a quick coffee, and I ran in the door and just about killed Tom Cochran because he was coming out. Did bump into him, but I didn't hit him too hard. Yeah. And he left. And then the girls working there went, "Did you see who you almost killed? That was Tom Cochran." And I said, "Oh, can I have coffee, please?"
Oh, what you should have said, the best thing you could have said was,
"Life is a highway." Life is
a highway. You should look before you cross the street. Next time, although if you do that, if you run into him again, you might break his hip. He's
not
getting
young.
No, I know where he'll be on July 1st. He plays Life is a Highway every single Canada Day in Ottawa. I think I've seen Tom Cochrane live more than any other artist just because I live in Ottawa. Yeah.
That's good.
And
you
that's
have more pictures, you said.
I do have more pictures, but our friend James has asked a question, and that is the point of what we do. So looking for a new knife, something rugged, but on the thinner side. So those things don't always go together, but I think I know what he means.
That's like saying I want someone that's tall, but on the short side.
Yeah.
Or somebody that's fat, but kind of skinny.
Yeah. Sharp like the Takamura Gyuto, 180, but longer. Pull cut dominant, so a pull cut prefers to cut that way. Octagonal handle, lightweight, long-lasting edge. Recommendation. My mind immediately goes to a Masakage Kumo. That ticks most of the boxes.
Because I was thinking Shimo, but it doesn't really. It's not as thin as the Kumo. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Ikeda-san and Enri-san, who make the Kumos, are very, very talented at forging VG10 steel.
Yeah.
And listen, this is something important. This is important. I make the point often, but I want to keep making it because not every knife made of VG10 steel is the same, right? Mm. And just because you know the steel doesn't mean you know what the knife's going to be like. Enri-san and Ikeda-san have very high skills of forging VG10. They like it. They do a lot of it, and they've practiced at it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not just the steel, but it's also the craftsmanship. It's also their experience with the steel that matters. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Kevin, what steel and what blacksmith would you like for an amazing knife?" You know, and I always think, well, I want the steel that they're most confident with because they do a better job with it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of it's funny. I had a conversation. So there's lots of people from Ottawa who watch the show today, but I've got a projector up in the store, and we'll often put on, we'll throw on a movie but lately we've been watching a lot of cooking shows, and Meki, who's one of our newer guys here, put on some cooking show. Now, I don't have any audio with it, but I was watching it today. It's called The Bombay Chef, and it's Indian food. And that's what I said to Meki, I was like, I don't know a thing about cooking Indian food. Like, I can manage, I can scrape together, like a white guy chicken curry. But it's by no means authentic. It's nowhere, it's to someone who knows better, it's probably not even recognizable. But it's got the things that I think go in it, right? So to kind of to do that blacksmith steel comparison, if I was you watch these cooking shows like Top Chef or whatever, and they're like, oh, if it was Indian Day and I was on the show, I'm out. You're voting me off, hands down, right? But if it
depends who the judges are.
That's true. Oh,
depends what their experience is too, right?
Yeah. So,
but if there's people that eat Indian food all day, I'm with you. I'll be gone.
Yeah. If it was fried chicken day, I feel quite confident. But if it was Indian food day, I don't think I could win.
Hollandaise sauce day? I'm king of the hill that day. Hollandaise sauce day, I'm king of the hill.
Oh, Hank Hill.
That's me.
Oh, did I freeze? No, I'm still here.
No, you're still there. I was just holding my breath. J.O. Bauman, did that answer any of your questions?
Yeah.
We gave you one recommendation.
Yeah, I would say the Kumo. And this, I said hi to James yesterday. He walked by the store and, hey, James, the door was open. I know who he is. I know what he has. I think a Kumo would be a really good fit. And if you let go of that word rugged, I've heard some kotetsus are coming. And the kotetsu, not rugged. That's why I'm saying we're going to cross that word right out.
Not rugged, sharp as
But
shit. Octagon handle.
all the other boxes. So, when we do get them in the store, if they make their way here, if they don't get all snatched up online first, James, I'll next time you walk by, I'll just grab you off the street. I'll shout out to you, and I'll let you know if we got them there. And I own a couple Kotetsus. I'd be happy to let you use one of mine if we, if you want to check it out.
What about a Takeda?
Yeah, Takeda ticks a lot of those boxes too.
Takeda does.
Yeah, let's go back to his. And I would even say you're less, because of the way they're sharpened, you're less likely to chip a Takeda than you are a Kumo, I think.
But I don't think the Takedas are as sharp as a Kumo because they've got that funny grind where they're where they kind of, like when you get into a potato, like a big potato or a sweep potato, they kind of get it's like an axe. Yeah. They kind of break things. They don't slice so well. Like if you're doing a real thin slice of a potato, they're amazing. But if you're cutting a potato in half, they get partway through and then kind of break the potato apart. Yeah.
So
Brian Crook says, what are some other... Oh, sorry, go on.
I said Spoon Monkey says, hey, when things open back up, you should do guided knife tours of Japan, allow people to meet and buy knives from the masters. To be honest, that sounds like a lot more fun than it would be, Spoon Monkey. Traveling, like a Knifewear visit to Japan is far from leisurely.
No, it's more like it's planned like a military event.
Yeah. It's fun.
10 days,
if
10
you
hotels.
Don't like sleeping.
No sleeping.
No, very little sleeping. You fall asleep in public a fair bit because you're on the train. And the train, like the whole time you're on the train, like it just rocks back and forth just enough. And everything in Japan is so hot. All the rooms are so hot everywhere you go. It's like room temperature in Japan is like 32 degrees Celsius or something ridiculous.
26 in the summer, or 26 to 28 in the summer is normal. And for Fahrenheit people, that's like 1,000 or something. I don't really know. 200. But in Celsius, it's 26 to 28 in the summer. And in the winter, especially if you have guests over, it might go up to 32 to show them how excited you are that you're there. So they might, just to honor you, might put it up to 32 in the winter. I've got a great video of riding with somebody in their car on a cold day. It was Mike and I, actually, and I got a video, and it shows that they set the temperature in the car for 32.
I saw that picture, actually. I remember that.
And I had a sweater on, and I'm Canadian, man. I was outside having coffee. It was -8 this morning when I was having coffee. Like, it's not like 32.
Yeah.
The city I live in never even gets to 32.
Yeah.
Like, it never gets that warm here. And if it does, it's like one day and everybody complains about how shitty summer is.
Yeah, it's going to be 32. Like, it's like, I don't know how hot it is here today. It's like 19 or something already right now.
What?
I don't know. Yeah, Ottawa's, it's going to get cold over the weekend. But James says the Kumo also in his price range. Much appreciated.
That's perfect. Fred's got some advice about a Kumo, though.
You know what easily chips a Kumo? When your mom brandishes it like a sword and hits it into a plate. Luckily, just a tiny chip. You know?
Peter Brown says 26 to 28 in the summer doesn't sound too bad. No, that's what the air conditioner is going, Peter. It's 28. And humid, like 90% humidity. Like me dying a terrible death. Being sad. Yeah. Being sad and sweaty.
So sweaty.
So sad.
So
sweaty.
But here, Brian has asked a question. What are some other lines like the Denka that are just better?
Ooh. Well, I've got a number of things that are just better. We don't have the Mugans anymore. I always thought they were just better.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think the Denkas are just better. I think, you know what? Anything from Takamura, I think is just better.
Yeah.
I really do.
What about like a Masakage Zero? Those are up there.
Well, you know what? Because Saji makes the handles, right? And Kurosaki makes the blades. And I was going to say, a lot of things from Kurosaki, especially that Sasame line he makes, are just better.
Yeah.
Right? They're just better. If you can get any of the Agami Super Ishime knives from Moritaka that are going to be coming in soon, again, that's in the like. I just think they're kind of in a league different.
Yeah. What do you think about those? Like some of the stuff from Itsuo Doi. Would you put that in that same category, like those Kengata Gyuta? Like I think I have one here. Yeah, I did grab one because they're a looker.
Yeah, that again, because it feels heavy. It's that and the Kaguras. They feel heavy. They're thick on the spine. You think they're not gonna. You think they're not gonna cut right, but they're just man. They're so nice.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I would. I'd put those up there. You know, if you could get a river jump, like it took me a little bit,
obviously
because like river
Shigafusa.
because for me, like I never got to cut with the river jump for a really long time. Like we only had one or two of them in the store here, and they would move. Like they wouldn't stick around for very long, right? And then it wasn't until I came to Calgary, and I think I used yours. You have you don't have one. There was one in the store, but there was a Santoku in the store. Is that right?
Edmonton has a Hinura river jump sample knife.
Okay.
Because he finished the knife and didn't like there was a scratch on the black on the Kurochi part. He didn't like it, so he gave us that as a sample knife for customers to use.
Yeah. And they're really like there's more than just hype to those river jumps. Like they really are as good as they say they are. And I needed to use one to believe it. That was years ago now, but I still remember using it. I remember Mike saying to me, he's like, "Have you ever tried a river jump?" And I was like, "No, I've only got the whole, like I looked at one once, you know." And then he like goes over to like this like drawer in the store and pulls it out. And it's like hidden in the back of the drawer. Like it just felt maybe that was part of it. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. So
do you know what though? Mike was at the shop one day and a guy brought his river jump Nikiri in for sharpening. And it's a customer of ours that uses it. Like it's a daily use knife for him.
Yeah.
And Mike sharpened it. And it took him moments. This is the thing that you've got to understand, and that people don't always get because they don't have the opportunity. But some of these knives, like Hinura's river jump, right, that are shockingly expensive because of a lot of reasons. But they also forget that they're fantastically made knives. And a really fantastic knife will take a blazing edge. It will keep that edge for a long time, but it's also, and this is the part that a lot of people don't have the experience with, because like it's kind of like how many people drive a Lamborghini, right? Like it's just the problem is there's very few people that have this opportunity. But sharpening a river jump is easy. Chris, it's easy.
It is.
It's one of the easier knives to sharpen. It's easy to make it look good. It's easy to thin it out, and you would think, man, this knife is made out of Jello. It's so soft, except it's not. It keeps a great edge. Yeah. But it's just that's craftsmanship, you know.
Yeah, and they're easy to like, because I remember I had to do one. I had to fix a chipped one once, and I thinned it right out, hot rodded it, the whole thing, and I only used like the 220. I think I used the 220, the Knifewear 1000, and a little bit of sandpaper.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
and it's easy.
And it was, yeah. You know who has that? That's Daw. You know Daw, the cook here in Ottawa?
I know Daw.
Yeah, that's Daw's knife. So,
yeah, sorry, I'm just going through my big box of knives that's down here.
Oh,
can you see it? Oh, it's right here. Because I have something in here that leads into our next discussion.
Okay. Oh.
Sorry, so I'm ignoring you, sort of.
Yeah. Well, our buddy James had a friend, Cameron, moved to Japan. The week he got there, it was 44 without humidity. He cranked the AC to the apartment until water dripped down the wall. The last time Kevin and I were in Japan together, I did something similar at this Airbnb we were staying at in Kyoto, and I was keeping the room real frosty. And then Shibata-san came to visit us, and he was very concerned that I was sick because it was so cold. TJ says, I just sold my river jump. What do you think knives have to go out to come in?
What?
No, you just get another one. You know what? Okay, here's my thought.
TJ just sold a river jump?
Yeah.
Why didn't
I
he
think
call
you should just add to your collection, unless you, for some reason, you don't like the knife. That's my reason. But even then, I tend to, if I have a knife that I'm not using, I give them away. I had a Victorinox carving knife, with the Granton edge and the round tip. I had one of those, and one of my my biker buddies, an older gentleman, was talking about he wanted a carving knife like that. He's like, I don't want one with a pointy tip. He was very particular about what he wanted, and I had one from when I was in culinary school that's just been sitting in a toolbox for the last 12 years probably, and
Right.
I sharpened it up and gave it to him. So that's something I like to do. I'll just I had a Mac boning knife at one point, the one that comes with the hard plastic sleeve. I had one of those. I gave it away. I'd sooner, but those those aren't on a river jump level of conversation. But no, there's always room for another one. I don't think you got to get rid of one to give one. Maybe in your knife bag, one comes out so one can go in, but not permanently. Not for me. And then I presume you were digging around to address Adam Yarbo's comment based on what I saw. Those knives are sweet.
You know what? And this is another one that that your man Bowman, J.O. Bowman, should look at, actually. In fact, I think he should look at this in the Kumo. Yeah. Although I don't know if this is in the price range.
No, that would be more. I think we're looking at for a 210. I think they're in the six-ish.
Yeah, you know what? I totally forgot about this. This knife is crazy.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. But if you look at it this way, it's forged in the shape of a diamond. So it gets skinnier toward the spine, comes out, and then goes down at the edge again. That's done for strength, but it's also done for really sharpness on the edge.
Yeah.
Like this.
You get a lot thinner.
And they look good. So yeah, it gets really thin on the edge, and the spine's thin, which makes it light. But the center, like this line here, is really quite fat along there. And that gives it robust sturdiness. In fact, I'm gonna go crazy, Chris, and say you can get a knife that cuts like a thin knife and that's light, but is robust, and it's this one.
Yeah.
And it's the ATS, it's the Manaka or Kisuke knife. Kisuke Manaka-san. Made with the ATS 30 or ATS 34 stainless steel. Actually, I think that might be it. Might be
your holy grail, yeah. Now he makes it in Shirogami, or he makes knives in Shirogami that have the same kind of profile and whatnot, but they obviously
they're rusty and stuff like that. And also fantastic, right? But this one's been blowing my mind. Yeah. And I'd forgotten about this, actually. Yeah. So thank you, Adam Yarbo, for reminding me, because I'd like to know what you think more about it, how you think about its performance, because this thing's insane.
And then Blank I think summed it up pretty well. I've heard more simple to steel, the more it shows the skill of the blacksmith, a lot like a meal with few ingredients, showing the skill of a chef. Exactly, right? Like if you can, that's why a lot of them I think like to use white carbon steel because it's kind of,
yeah.
because it's on it puts everyone on an even playing field, and they can show what they're capable of, right?
Yeah, that's Shirogami is for showing off your skill.
Yeah,
and Hinura-san and Fujiwara both like it for that.
Yeah,
for the showing off part.
And that's so. I'm wondering if TJ is referring to because we've talked a bit about Hinura's the river jumps. I wonder if he means if these are those Kurochi, the ones that
Do you know what?
that Sumi makes.
Maybe, but Fujiwara Hinura-san will also sometimes make just Megaki or Kurochi, not Damascus knives, and again, fantastic, easy to sharpen, take an edge. The thing is, though, they don't have that twist Damascus. They don't have that Damascus that brings his knives from really great knives to art.
Yeah, and like I said, once I cut with one, it's clear as day, why you need one.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
And then Bob says he thought about selling knives that weren't his Moritakas, has never been able to do it. And then let's answer. We're gonna talk about Base Kraut's question, and then we're gonna watch the Sujihiki video.
Oh, I want to see that.
And then we'll get into our other photos from some pals. So
that sounds good.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a plan today. I'm trying, anyways. I'm trying to be organized.
So, what super heavy full taper Gyuto? Now, when he means super heavy, he means that it's not as light as some of the thin knives, like the Kotetsu. And full taper, this wouldn't be a full taper, I suspect. I think he means ground right from the spine, right to the edge, more like this knife here. Right?
Yeah.
So what super heavy full taper Gyuto workhorse would you recommend? Masakagi Shimo. Mm-hmm. I think that is a stellar full grind knife. I think I've got to go through my head now.
Yeah, I'm thinking
which ones have that taper? What do you have behind you? Anything that's in there? Anything from?
I got a Kumo. That's about it.
Yeah, Kumo's not really so much of a workhorse. I'd say a Sugimori, but it doesn't have a full taper.
Yeah,
and I'd say those new Sakai Ul Sumi knives, but again, not a full taper. But workhorse and a really high grind. So that's going to give you the same. It's going to give you a very similar feel, and it will feel like that for a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about that for a bit, and let's maybe look at somebody else's knives, or let's look at that video.
Let's do the video.
We'll come back to this.
So we've got a video about Sujihikis, what you use them for, maybe some top picks. It's Owen, who we recognize from Sharpening Night in Canada, and our Vancouver shop.
Masashi Shiroshu.
Yeah. I have a Kuro shoe here.
Doesn't have the same grind.
No, but the Shiro shoes are. You're right. Yep. Yeah.
I've got one in my bucket here.
Cool. Well, you dig around. I'm going to put the video on.
You do that.
And you look for that knife. So here we go, folks.
Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at one of my very favorite shapes, the Sujihiki. If you like our content, take a look in the descriptions, click the link, and you can see all of our amazing knives. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you never miss a video. So Sujihiki, the word in Japanese, literally translates to flesh slicer. So it gives you a pretty good idea of what this knife is actually used for, right? It's used for big pieces of meat and fish, anything that you need a long knife for. It's got a very long, slender sort of shape and a pointed tip, so you can get through most pieces of meat in one nice long slice rather than sawing back and forth. This guy here, this is the Fujimoto Nishiji. It's one of my personal favorites. I think it checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Holds an edge right, feels nice to use, made out of aogami carbon steel with stainless cladding. Looks really good. I love the pointy tip on this guy. Masashi Kuroshi is one of the coolest knives we got in the shop, straight up. This 270 millimeter Sujihiki has this really nice Damascus pattern, really good beveling, super young blacksmith, really talented guy. Moritaka Hamono has been in business for about 700 years. They know what they're about. They make Sujihikis all the way from 180 millimeters up to 360, which is crazy. Full carbon steel, really cool looking blades, hold an edge amazingly well. If you're looking for a killer Sujihiki on a budget, Haruyuki Mugi's an awesome knife to go with. These guys are really easy to get into. They hold an edge super nice. They're really easy to take care of. They look great too. Another Sujihiki from Fujimoto Knives. These ones are fully stainless with a nice walnut handle. Really cool Tsuchime finish on these guys. Very easy to care for. Really brilliant blades. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos and turn on those notifications so you know whenever we put out a new video. And if there's anything you want us to do, if there's anything you want to see, let us know in the comments. Thanks a lot and have an awesome day.
And don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe.
That's what we're supposed to say.
If you like this show, they'll make us keep doing it. Yeah. So it's probably best to not like it or dislike it, even better. Give it a thumbs down. And then don't subscribe, because if you do, you'll have to get a notification when we do another video. Yeah. So clearly, probably the smartest thing to do. You know, and you're all smart people. I trust you. I think the smartest thing to do is unsubscribe and dislike immediately. Mm-hmm. And Chris, can you put the email back up there? If you have any complaints, and I think you need some complaints, I think if you have some complaints, send them to KRIS, Chris with a K, at knifewear.com. I see he's in the comments again, says he dislikes Kevin. Well, he can suck it. But yeah, send Chris Armitage all of your crappy fan mail. Hate mail for this show. Send them that. That would be lovely. Brian Crook says there's a knife shop in Hamilton that's been doing videos highlighting certain knife lines. I'd like to see something from you guys instead. We should do that, Chris.
We should.
Maybe instead of doing the things that Chris Armitage tells us to do, maybe we'll just like make up our own schedule.
We could do that. I kind of don't like having too tight of a leash, you know?
I've been drinking scotch, Chris Armitage. I've been drinking scotch today.
Yeah, I finished my beer.
I'd like you to put that on my permanent record. I'd like you to put that on my permanent record, please.
Don't worry, Kevin. I'll take care of it.
I know. Thanks, bud.
So yeah, so this will be funny for everybody. I do take care of a lot of the human resources stuff for Knifewear these days. Shocking, I know, that I could possibly be in charge of something like that. But one of Chris has an email that I sent to him from HR the other day that he quite likes. He's got a screenshot of it. He shows it to the staff. I just say fuck off in it. You know, it's not very HR, you know, but what do you do? Sometimes the words come out. So Ellipses was saying, interesting, when I bought my Kuro shoe, I assumed it was pretty much identical, barring appearance, to the Shiro shoe line. I think...
You know what? I've lied. Here's my Shiro shoe, and I said it was a full taper, like from the... But it's not.
Yeah, you can feel it, eh?
Yeah, it's not. It's ground more similar to the Kuro shoe. It's not identical, but it's more similar to the Kuro shoe. It's also
like the
evidence that I put this away dirty. So how about that for something, a pure amateur move?
Armitage has sent me a message.
Or he was just calling me, but I just hung up on him.
He sent me the screenshot. I don't know if you can read that.
That doesn't look like a polite thing to say.
No. But you know what?
You should put that on his permanent file.
I'll put it in there. Yeah, that he earned that. You know, that's not a mark against me. You know,
he said a bad word on our show and sent you an abusive text message.
Mm. Oh, Iggy. I like Iggy. Iggy, you get a raise. Can we create a dislike option for Chris's attempts at altering this fine piece of programming? Yeah. And then we do have some knife here. Let's get back to some knives for a moment, shall we? So D. Lazenby, looking for my first Nakiri, $200 or less, lower maintenance preferred.
Goodness, can we just start by apologizing to D. Lazenby and saying, D. Lazenby, I'm sorry, the show's never this bad. We usually try to answer questions and get to things. We're very professional. It's just that our manager has made us very unprofessional today just by giving us unrealistic demands.
Yeah.
But let's do this professionally. Looking for my first Nakiri, 200 or less, lower maintenance. So when I hear lower maintenance, I think not so thin, like Kotetsu. So it's a bit more rugged. And I think that he's also meaning stainless.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would say, and I think I've got one here. I would say.
Does it start with an H and end with Arayuki Kokuto?
No, but it starts with an H and ends in Arayuki Mugi.
Yeah.
This isn't the Nakiri though, but this is the Santoku of it.
No, but that's a great line.
The other one would start with an H and end with a Arayuki Kokuto.
Yeah. That was immediately like that one there.
In fact, this is the one I'm going to go with. I'm not even going to talk about the Mugi anymore.
Yeah, that was immediately where mine.
$200,
like 189.
That's crazy, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
D. Lazenby, who has, by the way, thank you for your patience and putting up with Chris Lord's, frankly, unprofessionalism. And yeah, terrible face, bad facial, like comedy facial hair, and frankly, his overly tattooed and bad attitude. This is
I behave exactly the way you think I look.
You drink and drive less. You drink and drive less than I think you would.
Yeah.
But this one here, the Kokuto. Haruyuki Kokuto Nakiri, that is super in your price range, and I think it's the good one. I think that's a great response.
Yeah.
So there you go. Ellipsis says the show is always this bad. Well, I encourage you, Ellipsis, to dislike and unsubscribe, because like I said, if you like it, they'll just make us do it more, and if you subscribe, you'll find out every time we do it. So that's like painful for you.
Yeah. What's your favorite steel for a knife, Kevin?
Lots of them.
I know. I knew that. That's kind of setting me up, that one.
I don't know. What's your favorite painting, Chris? What's your favorite? Well, I'm not going to say what's your favorite beer because you're just going to say Coors Banquet.
Oh, that stuff's okay.
I don't know. How long is a piece of string? My favorite steel in a knife, like I do have favorites. I do tend to gravitate towards SRS 15, SG2, Aogami Super, and Shirogami 2. I tend to gravitate to those, but I'm also more interested in what steels the blacksmith is really good at using, right? Mm-hmm. Like any Andresan knives I want in VG10.
Yep.
Because he kills a VG10, right? Any knives from Moritaka-san, I want an Aogami 2. And I want the Ishime version because the extra forging process makes the steel tougher and harder. Less likely to bend, less likely to chip, and stays sharp longer. So the Ishime Aogami 2 from Moritaka. And you just understand that wasn't one of the knives or the steels that I said was my favorite, but from him, it's my favorite. Yeah. So it depends on who's making it and their skill level or their confidence with that steel. Like SKD steel from Masashi is exceptional. Yeah. So from him, I'd say SKD.
SLD, you mean?
Or sorry, SLD. They're so similar, dude.
I know.
SKD11 and SLD12. Is it the same steel, essentially?
We recommended the Kokuto, and it's out of stock. Of course we did. I'll find you something different. Don't worry.
Oh, we are such nerds. We suck.
No, nerds would be
I've got
good.
one here. Listen, I've got one here that's unused. Chris, do you think we can make this happen? Do you think we can?
Well, you're going to the store anyways.
Well, I can go to the warehouse tomorrow too.
Yeah. Well, what we can do
this is an unused. This is actually an unused. The only use it's seen has been me playing with it on the show.
Well, if D. Lazenby is okay with that.
D. Lazenby, if you're into this knife here, that's in my hands, that's actually in stock, that's brand new. I took it home and never used it. I've only had it in my office here and just been showing it on the show. If you're interested in this particular knife, send Chris.
Yeah, send me an email. Yeah, I'll find it here. Well, it's Chris at knifewear.com, but spelled like a normal person. Yeah. If you send that to me, send me an email. Let me know that you're cool with Kevin's Nakiri, and then I can I can send you an invoice by email, and then we can get we'll get the knife over to the warehouse so they can ship it out for you.
It likely won't have the original box. It'll have a strange box from my collection of boxes here.
Yeah. Well, they might even have another one over at the warehouse.
They might.
Here
you go. If you want one, this is the one I have for you. It's unused. It really is. It's there you go. It's mine. But again, I have a lot of knives, so I don't always use all of them the first day I get them. And I've only had that one for about a year. Throw in a river jump. Yeah. I don't have a river jump.
Yeah, shoot me an email and I'll take care of you.
Yeah,
we'll get that
tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I'll just let Tiffany know that it's coming. So
perfect.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Look at us. And they say we don't do anything.
Yeah. Did you record that part for that Chris Armitage guy?
It'll be up on YouTube. We can send a link out.
Well, tell him to go to whatever second and minute this is. Tell him to go there.
I'll figure that out. Here, let's look at some people's knife collections.
J.O. Bowman, Knifewear ships in Canada by Canada Post. Yes.
Yep. Or if you
most reliable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Not always the fastest, but most reliable.
We do have other options on the website, but Canada Post is our first choice. Okay.
I believe you can pay for other options.
Yeah. Yeah, UPS is on there. I think that's it. So here we've got a picture. This was another picture from our friend David. And I like this one because there's a couple of neat ones in there. You want to go or you want me to go?
I want you to go because I think there's what's that? I think there's a couple of strange. There's certainly one that I know that you may or may not know, and there's some weird ones in there. There's some weird ones in there. Yeah, you go for it, man. Left to right.
So we got a 165 Mabaroshi Nakiri,
made by Fujiwara-san.
Yeah, we've got a Konosuke Momiji Santoku.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah, they were here.
That's the special marijuana edition.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a maple leaf, but it looks like a pot leaf.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a left-handed. It's a left-handed knife.
That's for you.
But not in a single bevel way. And then we got a Shun Santoku, and then I believe that's a Mizaki Shirogami Nakiri. We got the offset Shun bread knife. And then we've got, I don't know what this Western handled knife is. It could be a Henkel. It could be, I don't know. I don't know much about those. And then we got one of the new Skyuls.
That looks like the Sumi, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
The handle looks really nice on that one.
Oh, Janine
I've got
says
I've got the 240 of that. I've got the 240 and the Kobunka of that. I'm a big fan of that Sakaiul Sumi knife. So whose knives were that?
That was. Now I gotta look. I gotta look to see. I think that was David. That was David again. Who I'm not sure, David. If you're watching and those knives are yours, I got your last name here, but I don't know if we've spoken before or not. And forgive me if we have. I'm just not the best at those kinds of things.
Yeah, you suck. That's all right.
Yeah.
Janine says, and this is a common question. Janine says, "Why is your site blocked? What's up with that?" Janine, if you're at work and they have a firewall, a lot of work email or work browsers won't allow you to go to our website because it uses the word knife too much, and they've decided it's a weapons store. And they have decided, the nanny state of your firewall has decided that you can't be responsible enough to look at a site that sells weapons like kitchen knives. I know it's funny, but it's just that's really common, especially in Calgary here. Everybody looks at work, and nobody's allowed to see our website at work, which is a bummer.
And Janine is located. She's not far from the Ottawa store. She comes in.
If she works for the federal government, that's probably who's blocking her. Yeah,
she's a riot. She was. Remember when we were doing like when Alex did the French sharpening class? You remember that?
Yeah.
Janine was just giving him the gears, because he's talking in French. He's sharpening knives. That was a handsome guy. Janine let him know she thought so. He turned bright red.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because Al's one of those good-looking guys who doesn't know he's good-looking, or he, at the very least, doesn't act like he knows.
Or he's very good at pretending.
Yeah. So, Adrian, if you want to send me a photo of your knives, if I don't get to it today, I will get to it next week. But here we've got. Where was I? Got to figure out which one's which here. Oh yeah, so this photo. Oh God, I can't remember your name. Oh, Aaron. This is Aaron's knives. So I did the last.
Aaron got left to right. Arcos Cleaver, Fujimoto Nakiri.
Yeah.
Looks like a garage sale petty from. I can't zoom in enough, but maybe it's Anderson. Oh, the Sumi Kobunka, the Sakaiul Sumi Kobunka. Matching knives we have. We have matching knives.
Meki bought one of those too.
The next one I don't know. What's that?
I don't know. Aaron, are you still watching? What's that knife?
And then there's the Kasumi boning knife, which I've always liked.
Yeah.
Looks like a 210, maybe 240 Moritaka Ishime. And kind of a cool looking bread knife.
Yeah. What's that Gyuto in the middle, Aaron? Between your Kasumi boning knife and your Sumi Kobunka. What's that one? He's gonna say it, and I think we're gonna know what it is in the end, but I could like cheat and look at a bigger version of the picture.
Listen, Chris Armitage has called me twice, and I've hung up on him while we've been on the show. Now he's sending messages. Can we just block him from this feed?
Yeah. Oh, he's saying I'm drunk. Who's drunk?
I don't know.
Get out of here, Armitage.
Why don't you just block him? And put that on his.
You know what? I'm gonna find out what a timeout means. There he is. I put him in timeout. He was blocked for 5 minutes. There we go. That'll teach him. You're in timeout, Armitage.
Yeah, 5 minutes, buddy.
The only thing you go think about what you've done.
Yeah, trying to tell us to be professional.
So that's what Aaron's got. Oh, that's not the right one. Spoon Monkey, what are you doing? There we go.
It's not Spoon Monkey pressing the buttons, you idiot. I mean,
no, it was me.
Excellent co-worker.
Hey. I'm gonna tell HR.
You excellent coworker. Idiot.
I'm gonna tell HR it's me.
You're the HR. You're drunk anyway.
Kia Nanbu Kurochi 180.
Now, Kia is a department store in Japan, and they don't actually
Okay.
make any knives, but they buy a lot of knives and put their name on it. So I don't know. I'm very curious who made that. Could be a lot of people, but it's probably fantastic because Kia does like sources really good knives.
Is that the place in the remember you brought me to a place in the Kyoto train station that had like there was like the top level was all like the handmade stuff and like I got lost.
Right.
Is that a Kia?
No,
Okay.
I don't think. No, not at the train station. That's a that's another one. That's another nice one.
You know where I mean?
There is
though?
a
Like,
Kia.
I
There
bought
is
a
a
bunch of
Kia.
stuff for my kids there.
Yeah, there is a Kia in Kyoto, not far from the Starbucks we like to go to. Yeah, there's a Starbucks we go to in Japan. Don't judge me.
Well,
man.
by the time you're in Kyoto on the Knifewear trip, you're near the end of the trip, and you need something that's a little more something that you recognize by that point.
No, the Kyoto Starbucks I like. The reason I like it there is you can sit outside. And back in the day when I used to have to carry pocket Wi-Fi with me, it never could keep it charged for longer than 4 hours, so I could recharge there. Because there was a secret plug outside. So you could plug in and sit outside and drink coffee, which is unusual in Japan. And the craziest fashion walks down that street.
Well, it's a really busy street, right?
Yeah, but it's a really fashionable street too. And there's just like the craziest outfits walk by, and I'm just like, that's awesome. In Japan, you can wear whatever you want. It's great. If you want to just dress in pink fun fur, top to bottom, it's cool. People will cheer you on. If you want to dress as like a sinister kind of black little Bo Peep, like a black, totally black wedding
like a
dress
little goth, like a little goth Bo Peep.
Little goth Bo Peep, no problem. Do what you like, man. It's great.
Just do it up.
Just go for it.
When I walked my kids to school yesterday, there was a young lady.
Goth Bo Peep.
No, but she was kind of dressed like a pirate, and I was really confused. So, like, because I listened to this,
I would try to marry her.
Yeah, she had like, it was like, it was kind of very out of place for the time of day and where I was. I was kind of just like one of those, like, did I just see a pirate? You know?
Well, last time I was in your area, I saw this lady that was like super goth.
Yeah,
Pale
I
face, dark hair.
Yeah, it wasn't her. No, she's just in my house.
That's where I saw her. That's where I saw her.
She's probably on my couch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Irish, left-handed cigarettes.
yeah, that's what happens.
Pretty goth looking.
Yeah. So, what is Spoon Monkey going on about this Quack? I've never heard of Quack. Best beer in the world. I don't know if you guys are taking the piss or.
No, I
believe
it's one of those Polish lagers.
Oh yeah, I'd probably drink.
I don't know if it is. I'm guessing it's one of them Polish lagers that are quite good.
Yeah.
You would like them because it tastes like beer.
Oh, that's all I
But
want.
maybe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Koshiki Nanbu and then hand sharpen. Does that make sense to you?
Those are two people I've never met in Takafu. So I take a picture of that and send it to Naoto and say, who are these guys?
Yeah.
This is how I take screenshots. Just use my phone.
Nice.
Look at that.
So here.
This is the show where you get immediate answers.
Yeah. And then so Aaron, I mentioned this earlier. Aaron had also introduced the concept of the decoy knife, which is a game that I play at home as well.
Yeah, what's
so
important?
This is the decoy knife at home. What you do with your decoy knife, for those of you in the know, is you make sure that it is the most accessible knife in the kitchen. It is on the lowest rack of your magnet, closest to the cutting board, and it is the knife that people will reach for. That is the one they are allowed to use. We have a couple of decoy knives in my house. I don't care what happens to them. Just don't touch the other ones.
Oh, that information from Ellipsis is from the House of Knives website. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Bowman says, I finally used my Shun Classic Nakiri the other day for the first time in 6 months to open the childproofing seal on a left-handed can of soda. Clearly my favorite knife. You can get left-handed soda?
I guess so.
What?
I guess so.
J.O. Bowman. I need some left-handed soda, man. I'm gonna find one for next Tuesday.
Oh God.
Little left-handed soda, Chris Armitage. You can't stop me.
And it's legal now. And then here is our pal Damon's. Our buddy Damon Spector.
Oh yeah.
His knives.
Is that a Kumo on the left?
No, he gave me a list. He's not making us yet.
That is that's a Kato R2.
Yeah.
Petty on the left. And then the next one's an I don't know. And then the next one looks like a Mizaki, and it's got a Niigata handle, but I don't know what it is.
But does Matsubara mean anything to you?
Don't know. Okay. Then there's Kotetsu, and then there's look at the tip on that thing.
That's one of the Type 3 Kotetsu.
Oh, okay. And that's clearly our friend Kursaki.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one I can't read the blade.
Well, I would expect to see a little horse on it.
Oh, it's Gihei?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then the next one is, I also can't read it.
He says,
but I'm going to.
Mizaki. Would you have guessed Mizaki?
I would not have guessed Mizaki.
No, but I guess now that he says it, like the Mizaki that I have upstairs right now, I have a 240 in the store, is very pointy as well, like that.
It's a pretty weird grind, though. Look at how rugged it is at the back, and then it gets really, really thin at the top. That's a funny grind.
Yeah,
and I don't mean funny bad. I just mean unusual.
Yeah. How do you like that knife, Damon? Does it do what? Oh, Armitage got back.
Oh, and he said SMH, which means today's show is my super favorite. I don't know what SMH means.
Yeah.
Oh, probably means shaved my head.
Oh, well, he has to do that.
Which he does, yeah. So that's probably what SMH. So yeah, Chris Armitage is back. He shaved his head in his timeout. That's good. It's a good use of time, being efficient.
Yep. Luke, which knife would you recommend overall for making and cutting uramaki rolls?
A Yanagiba?
We did talk about them at the beginning. Oh, my phone just dinged. It's probably Armitage giving me that. No, I don't think it is.
Why is he like that?
I don't know.
This is just going off the rails. Now Mike is sending us messages about see my hat. Mike and I once were in Switzerland and we were in Germany and we saw a Swiss cow with a Switzerland big plus flag hat. We saw a cow wearing a hat. This is a true fact. And that's weird. And Bob Smith agrees with us. He said SMH does mean shaving my head. He just spelled shaving wrong.
Yeah.
That's probably just like an autocorrect error.
I think so.
He says you should do competitions. We have a competition coming up where Mike and I do a sharpening competition, and the loser has to drink coffee made with the sharpening water.
Yeah, Mike's not too happy about that.
No, because he's going to lose. Because Naoto's the judge and I'm the boss, so Naoto has to pick me.
Who's this Armitage guy? I'll find a picture of him.
Bob Smith from The Cure. This Armitage guy is like the guy that tells us what to do. He's like the manager of all of our shows, and he kind of tells us. He's like a producer, I suppose, of the show, and he's we're supposed to do what he says.
Yeah, except for both.
He admonished us pretty badly. He told us we were unprofessional, and that we weren't allowed to drink on the show, and that we have to say dislike this show and unsubscribe. We have to say that pretty often. If you don't like what you're seeing, you have to dislike and unsubscribe. Because if you like it, we might have to do it again. And if you subscribe, you'll know every time that a video is published. So be careful. And I don't know if you know this, Chris. I lost my phone in Frankfurt, Germany once.
I remember. Well, it wasn't so much losing it as it was leaving it in a cab.
But in my defense, I was leaving it in a cab because I took it to a place that only sells gin. I went to the always gin store.
Well, I've been to a gin place with you in Japan, and I'm surprised the phones made it back that night too. So before we answer Luke's very reasonable question about a knife, I just want to point out that Mike has said he's been drinking small amounts of sharpening water for a while now, like Dread Pirate Roberts.
So that's clever thinking. That's clever thinking.
Yeah, it's building up immunity. That's very smart. Very, very smart. And then Bob Smith says that's part of the charm of the show, so ignore him. You know what?
Robert Smith of The Cure, you're a smart man.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know what? I haven't listened to Chris Armitage yet, and I'm not about to start. So if everyone thought I was doing a bad job at this and I needed to be told what to do, would they have bought me these lights? I don't think so.
You're looking very blue today, so I think maybe we've got a lot of blue light on there for you.
Yeah. But Luke, you're all good. You don't need to apologize at all. If anything, we should probably apologize to you because you're asking questions that we said we would answer, and we're just shit talking a coworker instead. So,
yeah, we are pretty bad at our job sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. So, what's a good average brand of Yanagiba? We've got some good.
If you go to our website, yeah, there we go. I was going to say that's Sakai Takayuki Sugihiki.
Oh, you know what? Let me find a link. I'll put a link up there because, to be honest, I have to look it up because I don't know how to spell it properly.
Because I think that's a great little knife.
Yeah. I will find it.
And doesn't break the bank.
Yeah. Yeah, here's one. We have $198 for a 270 Yanagiba. That's great. So here.
Yeah, throw that up in the somewhere. I think
There
if
we
you
go.
throw it in the chat, I think people can click on it maybe.
Yeah, that's where I put it.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Janine says it was flagged as violent and that she reported it at an inaccuracy. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Admiral Longstash and Spoon Monkey are talking about beer. That's why I don't understand.
Oh, Chris likes beer. What's the fancy beer you like? Stella. And what's the other beer you like? Anything that's really light and tastes like kind of Swedish nothing.
Yeah, I don't. Here's my opinion about beer. Is I want like the Tojiro DP version of beer. That's what I want. I want something
Gets the job done.
Gets the job
Gets
done.
the job done. Not flashy.
No.
But
And I want 100, not just one. Do you know what I mean? Like I prefer to drink beer by the many And I don't want to have to pass a test. Admiral Heineken's too fancy for me, to be perfectly honest.
Listen, Admiral, I'm a big fan of the Heineken and the Becks, to be honest. But I do. So for the last year, since all this, I don't know if you know this, Chris, but there's been this thing going on about a year now. Thing, and all I've been doing is drinking Calgary made beer, with the exception I had one bottle of Orval from Belgium, but I've been drinking local Calgary beer because I think it's good for my my city if I keep my money in the city.
Yeah, but to be I think the last 2 beer I've had, you folks have watched me drink it.
They were Guinness.
Yeah. Which is about as crazy as I'll go.
Blank says I was more of a heroin and liquor man myself. Did Blank tell us something like that last? Yeah,
I think we know about that about Blank. Blank doesn't do any of the bad stuff no more.
Good for you, Blank.
Yeah. So, I got another picture from Andrew Elliott. Do you want me to put Andrew's knives up?
Andrew Elliott. He's got 2 first names like I do. Do people ever call you Elliott, Andrew? People call me Kent all the time. And I say, my friends call me Kevin.
He's got some nice knives, though. I think we have some.
Let's see them.
Oh, he does have some nice knives.
Oh, no. Is that a Saji Rainbow Damascus in there? It's got a fucking river jump petty. Who the hell is this guy?
Who are you, Andrew?
Andrew Elliott. I mean, Mr. Andrew. Elliott Andrew. You have got, it looks like a Miyabi SG2 Birchwood Petty, which I love that little knife. I love the shape. And then it looks like you've got a river jump, bloody river jump Petty. And then a Saji, maybe? Rainbow Damascus Bunka? A 180?
I don't think he makes a 180. I think that's a 210.
Yeah. Masashi Kuroshu, and then a Kyutsuke by Moritaka Ishime. Man.
Yeah. I've got the same Moritaka.
Man. That's a whew. Like Damon said, a river jump petty. That's a pretty big flex.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You know what? Congratulations, Blank. I'm just going to throw that out there again.
Yeah, Blank. Fuck, right on. Welcome back.
Yeah. So Blank says this is the first time they've seen Rainbow Damascus, which is kind of cool because it's sort of it's kind of something that Saji's known for, right? Like it's kind of put together for him.
Yeah, but others are using it now too, right? So basically, okay, see this knife here? This knife here is a Mugen, and it's stainless Damascus steel over an Algami Super carbon steel core. Now, blacksmiths can make a blacksmiths. Here, I'm going to move my camera so you can see me. Blacksmiths can make a carbon steel core with stainless on them, no problem, right? Easy peasy.
Yeah.
But what they can't do is do a stainless Damascus over a carbon core, because the stainless Damascus, to get the pattern to pop, you have to heat treat it slightly differently, and it won't look right. So this has actually been done and layered up in a factory. It's Sanyoriki is a steel lamination company, and they've put it together for us. That's really unusual. So what blacksmiths have done, like Saji-san, he asked Takafu Steel to make him something special. He wanted a stainless Damascus that he could put over a carbon steel that the pattern popped when he heat treated the carbon steel properly. So they gave him this, and it's layers of stainless and brass, stainless, copper, stainless, brass, stainless, copper. So it's a layer like that. So when you do the Damascus and when you do the, you manipulate it to get your pattern, the pattern pops because it's different colors of steel, not one or two steels giving you the contrast. So basically, he found a way to make this one as a blacksmith. So he's got the Damascus that's stainless and then the core steel that's carbon. Did any of that make sense, Chris?
It did.
I was so bored, I think I fell asleep in the middle.
No, you did good.
Okay, good.
Good.
And Hinura-san and Kurosaki are sometimes using that steel as well now.
Yeah, they've allowed others to play.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to have had this, what I haven't had was our Japanese Knife 101 thing. Oh, it's because I've been showing pictures. I can't do a picture and the overlay at the same time. That's the problem. I didn't screw up. I just never put it back. Thank God for that. But here, what about, now this is something that I don't, so Steen is asking, what's the best Rockwell hardness for a Yanagiba? I think most knives fall into that 60 to 62 Rockwell zone anyways. But
I think the answer has to do with what steel rather than the hardness.
Yeah.
And I think the answer is get carbon steel. It's easier to sharpen. It's easier to keep it sharp. And I think carbon, because the Yanagiba is just trickier to sharpen. And you just want the ease of a carbon steel. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Now, I say that, and I've got an SRS 15 Yanagiba here, which is like Rockwell hardness of, 65 or something stupid. So I've got this. But if I ever chip this, man, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, well, we never, we never pretend that knife will be a fun fix, right? Like, we're pretty open.
It's not going to be a fun fix at all. It's going to be a horrible fix.
Yeah. Well, what are we at? I think someone was asking about sending in a knife picture. Holy shit, I got a bunch now. I've got like 8 more. All right, you know what?
Hey, how about this? Is a fun question, though. Put Spoon Monkey's question up here. And Spoon Monkey's in the UK. Where in the UK, Spoon Monkey? I lived in London for years, and like almost a decade, and lived in there and worked at a place called St. John, which I quite liked. So where are you located? I think you've probably told us, but I forgot. What knives would you like to stock for whatever reason can't? We used to have that problem. We used to have the problem that there was some makers that couldn't make enough knives to stock 6 stores. So we couldn't carry their knives. Guys like Mizaki and Manaka, for example. And we used to not carry their knives because they couldn't make enough to supply our stores for the whole year. Because we would basically sell more than they could produce, right? So we never carried their knives before, but we've solved that problem now with garage sale, which is twice a year in May and in November. So we got a garage sale coming up. I think we've got a date for that. If Chris can put it up. So the garage sale is a 1-week event in May and a 1-week event in November where we just carry unusual stuff, things we don't normally carry. So it could be one of a kinds, it could be blacksmith experiments, it could be new blacksmiths, it could be small makers like Manaka and Mizaki, for example. So those small makers, because they couldn't supply us for 12 months a year or 52 weeks a year, but they can supply us for some, we've created something called Small Makers Month. So that's usually July now. And in July, we feature all these small makers and we go and bump up and buy as many knives as we can from these guys. And then it's like, think of it like asparagus. You can't buy well, actually, that's not true. You can buy anything all year round now, but you shouldn't buy asparagus all year round. Buy it in season, it tastes better. So think of these knives from the small makers as seasonal knives. When we have them, we have them. And when we don't, we don't. Does that make sense, Chris?
It does.
So we've solved the problem of having knives we want to carry but can't by having small makers, which is great. So Small Makers Month. And now you'll see those knives show up now and again too, because every now and again they'll contact us and say, I've got 40 knives. Do you want to save them for July or do you want to have them now? And we go, ooh, now, and then more in July too, please. So July, we'll have as many knives from the small makers as we can, and they'll last as long as they last. And then sporadically throughout the year, we'll keep restocking them. If that makes sense. I think it makes sense. Anything else that's interesting out there for questions?
Well, yeah, Fighting Usyk says 2 obviously different steels, but for general purpose, any preference for Ginsan over blue number 2? And then our pal Ellipses says, I'm going to leave this question. I'll leave the Usyk's question up. I'm just going to read Ellipses' comment. In my opinion, means anything to you, and it shouldn't. I don't think that that's quite fair. I quite like Ginsan in my Ohishi Santoku. Takes a pretty good edge and holds it pretty well. Haven't used blue 2, only super. I would agree. I don't think you can go wrong with either. I think as far as performance is concerned, it's going to depend on the maker. It's going to depend on, it's going to depend on the maker and the finished product, right? Like we've talked a lot today about the effect that a grind can have on a knife. But I think your biggest difference between the two, because you can get Ginsan to be as sharp as blue 2, and you can get blue, it's going to come down to how they actually made the knife. The biggest difference is going to be stainless versus carbon. So the conversation for those two, I think, is going to come over with if you need a little bit of help taking care of your knife, Ginsan is probably better for a general purpose knife. If that doesn't really bother you, and maybe you're more interested in having the smoother edge that's easier to attain with your stones, then I might say blue number 2. I don't know. Would you change that at all, Kevin?
I'm taking another photo. I really like Ginsan. I think blue number 2 is great. I've got 2 knives from Murata-san from blue number. Oh, that's blue number 1. The Mortakas use blue number 2. And I think the Ishime really makes them great. The Ginsan was just designed to be like VG10. And as you know, Chris, I'm a huge fan of VG10 steel.
Yeah.
Stainless, it's rugged, it keeps a great edge. And the Ginsan's the same. And it seems to be quite easy to work with because everybody that seems to make knives with Ginsan seems to do a really great job, right? Where I've seen a couple of blue number 2 stinkers. So
yeah,
I don't know. Ginsan, I like Ginsan. There. That's my theory. Also, looks like the Calgary Knife Shop's been calling me. I don't know why. But here, Chris Lord. Look at this, Chris Lord.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bicycle.
Yeah. Because you have sent me my single speed bicycle from Ottawa. But this, I just ordered this, Chris.
Oh, that's the new one.
That's one of the, I ordered 2 bikes. Oops. So I've just ordered this folding Brompton bike here in this weird kind of super shiny copper flamed color, which is a vast departure because I don't know if you know this, Chris. I like black bikes.
I know this.
I like black bikes.
Red cars and black bicycles.
Yes, that's reasonable. So this is really outside of my comfort zone, but I just ordered this and should be coming in July. So that'll be my new traveling bike because I've got a folding Brompton bike and it's lime green and I hated it. I've hated it since day 1. Yeah, because I didn't like the color. So there you go. Also, apparently Naoto, maybe you can talk about this later, but Naoto does a show on Friday nights called Naoto's Power Hour of Nerdity or some such.
Yep.
Nerdy Power Hour. And Fight Usyk is a big fan of that show. And yeah, apparently last week I missed it, but Naoto said, yesterday I was peeling a mountain yam. And Fight Usyk thinks that we should make shirts that have a picture of Naoto's face and then say, yesterday I was peeling a mountain yam. So I think we should probably make that shirt. But I've also asked Mason to make us dislike and unsubscribe stickers.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. Wow, I just got a weird message that I presume is from Naoto. I have no idea what this is.
What does it say?
It's just like it's a list of knives that someone has texted to me. Oh no, it's someone's picture. Oh, I understand. I have no idea how to use. It came through on iMessage. I had no idea what that was. That was really scary for me. I suppose you can see that I did it. I'm gonna have to. There's like 20 photos that I need to go through now. So
Okay, this is back to that knife that I don't remember who it was. It was some knife that was from Takafu. So it looks like it was made because there's another knife cooperative in Takafu that we don't buy knives from because I don't think they're particularly good value.
okay.
So there was a blacksmith there that made the knife, but then it was sharpened by Honda-san at Takafu Knife Village. So there you go.
Okay.
That was the knife, I think, from Kia. Or maybe
That's
it was
right.
in the House of Knives or something.
Yeah.
So Spoon Monkey says, can you ask Sakai Ul to make a stainless clad series? We have, and I'm not supposed to talk about it. So the most I'm going to say is I'm not supposed to talk about it, but keep your eyes open. In fact, if you're not subscribed to getting the Knifewear emails, you should, because then you'll find out about things like that as soon as they come available. So there you go. And Robert Smith of the Cure says we need to make a knife nerd T-shirt. What's it gonna be? Like a picture of Chris saying, "Look at my chopper."
Maybe.
I don't understand. I wouldn't want that shirt. What bike is Kevin going to use to ride across Canada? Awesome, Dave. That's an awesome question. The bike I'm going to use to ride across Canada is made by a German company called Tout-Terrain, and it's got a pinion gearbox. So instead of having gears and a chain, it's got a belt to drive it, and it's got an internal transmission, which is basically indestructible. And I'll see if I can find a photo of my bike. It's actually, my bike is sitting right outside. You can see it from here, but you won't see it well on that camera. So I'll see if I can find a picture of my bike, because I love my bike. It's big. It's what's the color of my bike, Chris?
I'm gonna guess black.
It is black. There it is. So this is the bike I'm riding across Canada next summer. And those are probably the tires I'm going to use, but I'm going to run them tubeless, lighten the bike up a bit. So those are Pana Racer GS gravel tires with the tan walls. I know it's boring. And this is a steel frame Tout-Terrain. It's called a Tanami Road touring bike, and it's got the drop bars, and it's got, if you look here, that is not standard. That is a gearbox. So it's designed by a couple of engineers from Porsche, the car maker, and they made a gearbox for a bicycle. It's got 12 speeds in there, and it's indestructible. It's a sealed unit, and all I have to do after 10,000 kilometers is change the oil. So there you go. That is your bike moment for the thing. Chris, are you bored yet?
I was dealing with some knife pictures there. I'm not bored.
Damon says, how many knives can I deliver per day on my bike? Depends how close they are. Calgary's a really big city. Back about a year ago when all this stuff happened, I was, as a charity thing, I was delivering for like $30 or $35. I was hand delivering things on my bicycle in the winter because it was still pretty wintry last year at this time. And I was delivering them on my bike. And there was some days when I was doing 70, 80 kilometers in the snow and in the freezing miserableness. And I was delivering 8, 9, 10 knives a day. But the city's pretty big. And it seems that people deep in the Southwest wanted to order knives. And I live way up in the Northwest, and it was far away. Andrew Elliott says that Porsche gearbox really heavy. It's not light. It's heavier than a chain and a derailleur, but not that bad. It's also not as efficient as a chain and derailleur, but the big difference is it's never going to break. So there's that. It's a manual shift. I have to like press the brake. So this one goes down and this one goes up. That's my brake levers. Is it a charity event, Kevin? Yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can raise some money for I don't know who. Maybe it'll probably be the Nature Conservancy of Canada. So I'll see if I can raise like 150 grand on donations, and the bike ride's going to be about 7,000 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
So Canada's a big place, and in miles, that's it's probably a lot. It's probably like 4,000 or 5,000 miles.
7 or 8 at least.
7,000 or 8,000 miles. Oh yeah,
7 or 8.
It'd be like
7 or 8
4 or 5,000 miles and 7,000
No,
kilometers.
I was just saying like 7 or 8 individual miles.
Oh yeah, you're so funny, Chris Lord. Careful, I've been drinking.
Luckily,
Austin
you're
Dave says you're going to ride down Highway number 1. I'm going to avoid it through the prairies, Highway 1 probably, but who knows? Highway 1 is the only option through Ontario, so I'll be taking that, and then we'll see. We'll see where I go. I don't have my route planned at all. My route is start at my house and drive my bike east until I get to St. John's, Newfoundland.
That sounds like the way to do it.
And Edgar Vandermeermore, who sounds like he knows something about bicycles, says a very smart move. Belt driving opinion. Never any trouble for 100,000 kilometers.
Wow.
Damon Spector said, if I ride 5,000 miles, he'll give me a Tinker Tank. That's exciting.
That might be the easiest way for you to get one.
Are you just playing video games now, Chris?
I'm like looking through all the photos that everyone sent me.
Are you just playing Space Invaders or something? God, Chris.
No, I'm doing work. I don't have anything to contribute to the bicycle conversation. I have a bike in my garage, and I rode it around the block last year. You know, I don't got a lot. I don't got a lot to add to this. But you see, and everyone else has got like real questions. You know,
well, I'm here for all of the bike questions.
Yeah, like there, it seems to be like I'm not going to get in the middle of it. You guys are having a decent conversation about stuff that you all care about, and I'm just going through. Like I've had like 15 people send me pictures of their knife collections. I'm trying to I'm trying to like organize them.
Here is the new bike I'm trying to get. It's a cargo bike with all the cargo underneath the top bar. Chris, just look up for a second and pretend you're a third interested.
I've seen pictures of this one. You tried to get me to buy it for Maeve.
Yeah, you should totally buy that for Maeve.
Maeve doesn't want
it. Of course she doesn't. Nobody wants that bike except me.
Yeah.
But I kind of possibly ordered one of those too. But I can order it in any color I want. It's a custom paint job. And I think I'm going to order it black.
As you would, yeah. So, to go back to knives for a second, I put up a question that I thought you would have a lot, like Fred had asked a few minutes ago, about the blacksmiths having, like, taking on people's apprentices. Is it like, do they have a lot of, like, is it hard to get an apprenticeship? Do like people want to become blacksmiths, or is the craft suffering for that?
Well, that's actually a great question, Fred. And the truth is, between 60-year-old and 25-year-old, there's hardly any blacksmiths. Because there was a whole generation of people that just said, I don't want to be a blacksmith. I don't want this dirty job. I want to go to Tokyo and get a job as a salary man. I want to work for IBM or Sony or something and wear a suit and blah, blah, blah. And, guys like Masashi and Kurosaki, Takamura are like weird because they're in their late 30s, early 40s. And that's kind of a generation that missed getting into blacksmiths.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's a lot of young people getting into it again. So that's kind of one of my jobs when I go to Japan. I've spoken at the one of the high schools in Echizen a couple of times, just trying to open people's eyes to the idea that world-class products are made right there in their backyard, and they should maybe think about getting a job with the blacksmiths at Takfu Knife Village. So where there was a lull, there was like a lot of people that were that didn't get into it. Now it's becoming again popular, which is great for the business, right? So there's a lot of 20-somethings that are getting involved in blacksmithing again. And I think that's a worldwide trend where, this group of 20-somethings really like the idea of being involved with hand-making products and integrity and something built to last a lifetime. If I go and ask to be apprentice at the age of 40, will they laugh at me? Will they laugh at me if I wear hearing protection and a breathing mask? Well, Fred, one, if you don't speak Japanese, you have no chance, and you better be fluent. Two, at 40, they might go, that's weird. Three, if you wear hearing protection, that's cool. Everybody under 60 wears hearing protection. That's why guys like Kato Senior is completely deaf. Him and Saji are like, and a breathing mask? That's weird. I haven't seen anyone wear a breathing mask, so you would be the first.
You would be the safest of the blacksmiths. But I don't think you'd have to worry, Fred, because you'd be like way bigger than ever. They're already staring at you, so you may as well wear safety gear.
Yeah.
We got... What else we got here? Someone asked if Shibata-san's still producing knives.
Yep,
definitely.
just not nearly as fast as you want or I want. But yes,
definitely.
But very slowly.
Masakage, Kotetsu, all the Tinker stuff.
Fred's 5'3", so he'll be okay in Japan.
Oh, there you go.
I'm 6'3". They think
You
I
still
look
got
like
that
Sasquatch.
beard, though, Fred. You still got that beard. Those tend to stick out too. I can maybe come up with a story, Lorenzo. But garage sale, Lorenzo's asking, May, I think we said that it's the May 17th is the Monday.
I made a point. You can press the button and it'll show the dates for garage sale.
Well, there it is. Yeah, I was right. May 17th to the 24th. I'm sure there'll be some Debas, but I have no idea. Masashi has always made it. We've gotten a smattering of Masashi single bevel stuff.
Listen, we've got some unusual Masashi knives coming for the garage, so I don't want to let the rat out of the bag. But we've asked for some unusual stuff. We've got some Moritaka Ishime Algami Super, Hanasukis and Nikiris. Fingers crossed they arrive. We've got a lot of weird stuff, and we've certainly got some stuff coming from Fujiwara as well.
Cool. What else do we have here? Oh, well, okay. Here's a good question from Steen. Who are the new youngest blacksmiths? Well, Kurisaki's making a real name for himself. So's Ikeda.
So is Takamura. So is Masashi.
Yeah.
But then there's young guys like Hangara that we're going to see, in a few years. Yeah. Or Akira. Like there's a couple of young guys that we're going to see, but you won't know their names now because they're not doing anything. Like Sayaka-san.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Tomo's a young guy, but he's already made so these young guys that we're talking about are in their 40s. Like they're the young guys they're already made, right? But there's a whole group of like that kind of 25 to 35 or 25 to 30 group that's kind of coming up now. And we're going to start hearing about them soon. When we'll see, right? Because some blacksmiths just want a job.
Yeah.
And some blacksmiths want to make a name for themselves. So we'll see who really puts themselves out there.
Mm-hmm. But then we get a lot of like the small makers. Like that kind of stuff that might people like Manaka, that might fall into that category. Like,
oh yeah.
At least like they're new to us. They're new to like kind of the Western knife world.
Yeah. Mizaki and Manaka have not been out on their own for very long.
Yeah.
Like I remember going to Mizaki's factory when he first bought it. And that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not he's really new to the game, right? Yeah. Were you there with me, or was that Armitage that was with me when we went to his factory when he first bought it?
No, I wasn't there. I met Wakui for one of the first times that
Wakui.
you had met him. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, not Mizaki. So
Here, do you want to see something fun? What's in my pocket today? What's in my pocket today?
I got an idea. Oh, I don't have any clue. I've never seen this knife before.
Maybe that little symbol can help you.
Oh, of course, that's where. Is that from Masashi?
We chef it
that
is.
Oh,
He
wow.
made me a little Higo, a little shime handled Agami super folding Higo. Isn't that cool? Ooh.
I want one of those. That's not fair. You get all the good stuff.
I do. I'm pretty lucky that way. Listen, I've also got something that just arrived in the post for me today that's interesting.
Okay.
Do you want me to go get it?
Yeah, go get it. While you're going to do that, I'll do some of
It's getting
the.
late. We got to sign off of this, man.
Yeah.
Also remind people, don't forget to unsubscribe and dislike, because if you like it, we'll have to do it again. And if you subscribe, you'll always get notifications when we do these stupid things. So the best thing you can do is dislike it, give it the thumbs down, right? Which means we don't have to do it again, and you won't be bothered by us. And unsubscribe, then you won't hear about it.
And Lorenzo,
That's the
we
best thing you can
did have Bob Kramer for a visit at the Vancouver store, and there was an interview done with him.
We should actually get our shit together. That was only 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We never finished the video.
I don't know if it's been edited or whatever. I don't really do anything with any of that.
Nothing's happened to it.
So here, while he's gone to go check the mail, I'm going to run through some of the stuff that we're supposed to talk about on a regular basis. So, like Kevin said, like, subscribe, click the bell so you get notifications. Look, I got my notes today. Apparently, we've started a TikTok account. I have nothing to do with it, but I'm sure it's fun.
We have not started a TikTok account. I know this because I told them not to. So clearly we haven't.
Well, I don't know if that's true then, Kevin, because I clicked on a link today and I got a TikTok account. So, the video that we watched today, about Sujihikis, is going. Yeah, I can't speak. That
Probably
video. It doesn't help. That's going to go up on YouTube tomorrow. So the video we watched today goes up on YouTube tomorrow. Thursday night at 6 p.m. out in Vancouver. So that's going to be 7-ish your time, 9-ish my time. They're sharpening Sujihikis. And then on Friday, Naoto is talking about how to sharpen axes. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
And then, unlike, unsubscribe, all that jazz. Someone called us drunks last week, and Armitage tried to give us a dressing down, but I refused. Yeah.
Send your hate mail. Put the address up.
Yep.
Send all of your hate mail. If I could sell a knife to anyone in history, who would it be and why? Well, I'd sell it to Jesus. See what the big deal is.
Yeah, why not? And then...
To whom do I direct questions about having screwed up the finish on a Tanaka Damascus Nikiri? Whoever you bought it from, probably.
Yeah. If you're looking
if you need
some
advice, if they screwed up the finish, just send it back to where you bought it from.
You know.
Yeah, don't accept something with a screwed up finish if you bought it.
Yeah. Advice on how to tidy it up if you like. What is this that you've got?
Can you see it in the screen? Because I can't see the screen when I'm holding it.
It says congratulations.
Yeah, it's Andrew-san and Ikeda-san.
Because yes, so there's a little goatee.
Because Andrew-san has retired and passed the torch on to Ikeda-san. So we, Ayumi, in the Vancouver store made this drawing for them.
Oh.
And we've had it printed, and we're going to get it framed and send it off to them.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that cute? Isn't it cute? Ayumi's really talented. She does these cool little drawings all the time for us.
Yeah.
And there you go.
And that's the big, like, Katsuo Bocho or whatever it is we called it.
Yeah. That's our guys there.
Yeah. Oh, James screwed it up when he sharpened it. Talk to Naoto. Tune in on Friday.
I read that totally wrong. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So if you missed double sharp, talk to Naoto. Get in on his video on Friday afternoon. It'll be at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so 6 p.m. here. You told me you were on the West Coast, so it'll probably be like 4 o'clock your time.
So yeah, you could probably send it back to us. To tune into Naoto. He might be able to do it for you, or give you tips.
Yeah. You can always send Naoto an email as well. He likes talking about that kind of stuff. It's not really a chore for him. Like, I wouldn't know. Like, I don't know that I could give you the best advice, to be honest. It's not the kind of thing that I shoot after. Oh, our buddy in was DJ Sergioto in like Bulgaria or somewhere? They were in like Central Europe.
Yeah, that's right. He's back. Hey.
Yeah.
Good to see you back, buddy.
So, I think that's it, Kevin. I got all of the. What do we got? We still got the razor sale going on in Kent of Inglewood. We didn't talk about that. We got a couple more days on that. 15% off straight razors and safety razors. Have you seen these new razors? Have you seen this, Kevin?
Only the pictures. Only the pictures.
So I shaved with it today. And I put a brand new Kent of Inglewood blade in it.
Right. As you should.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hadn't shaved in about 3 weeks. So I had a good, I don't know. I would say I had like almost a half, not quite a half inch. Let's call it like a third of an inch of stubble. And it got, you know what, I knew I was going to clog it up a little bit. But it did really, really well. Super excited about it. They make them in Ontario. And they're all like CNC'd aircraft aluminum. And they're only like $88 or something like that, I think. I don't know.
No, that's weird. Really?
I think they're cheap. Let me look. I might have made that number up.
How did they feel like? What's the angle of the blade like? Is it like those feather handles?
I only used the feather once. It's pretty easy to figure out. Like, I don't know. Does that make any sense to you? Like, that's cutting hair very nicely.
You're gonna have a beautifully smooth hand.
Oh, this arm, Austin.
Wow.
That's my
Maeve is in for such a treat tonight.
Oh, I know.
Her gothic sensibilities will be very impressed with your nice, smooth hand.
My smooth right hand. Yeah, shit, man. They're $88. I was right. 75 until the end of March.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe. Again, like I said, if you
unsubscribe.
if you like this, we'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Chris told me I'm not allowed to drink anymore during it, so I didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's not true. I also didn't drink.
I didn't drink any of this.
No.
Except about 6 shots. But I've been very well behaved today, which is good.
Yeah, we didn't say a lot of bad words. Like
a
few.
I never do. It's you. You're the fucking guy that swears all the time.
Yeah. Spoon Monkey asks, how are straight razors made? Forged, stamped, or cast?
Yes.
Forged or stamped, usually. You ever see a cast one?
No.
I've never had anyone like say that they were.
That's not a thing. They're forged.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
Iggy's asking, is there any news on a dislike, and unsubscribe t-shirt? We're working on a sticker anyway.
Yeah.
Business Blaze. I don't know what that means. Yeah,
But I'm
we're
looking it
working
up.
on a sticker that says dislike and unsubscribe. And why not? I'm sure we can put it on a print demand t-shirt too. I think as soon as that logo's done, I can't believe Mason's not done it yet. So I'm going to go bug him right now. I'll send him a text right now.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, he'll like that.
He likes it when we send him, oh yeah, there's a guy here. Yeah, he's got some, well, we'll do it our way. Who cares if he did it first? He clearly didn't do it right. That's the way we're going to do it. This could
Who
be
did
some
what first?
I don't know, some guy. This business place guy did it. So, well, I dislike him. I'll find his buttons and I'll dislike those.
Yeah, I'll dislike him totally. I'll put him in a timeout, Chris. Ban him from watching.
Who, the business Blaze or Iggy? We don't want to ban Iggy. We like Iggy. We're not going to.
Oh yeah, no business Blaze.
Yeah, business Blaze, you're banned. Don't you dare leave a comment in the chat so I figure out that you're here.
Yeah, you leave a comment, you'll be banned.
Yeah.
That is business. That is business 101. That's how you run a good business.
That's how you blaze up.
New customers show up, tell them to go away.
Yeah.
That's
get out of here. That's how you say it too. I gotta go.
Chris,
you
do you want to hear something funny that happened to me yesterday? Something really weird. And I wasn't there. I didn't see it. But something weird happened.
Okay, this is our story that closes the day. This is a good story. This is it. Because Kevin, we've done this for 2 hours and 46 minutes.
Yeah, but I like talking to you.
I like talking to you too.
I like talking to you.
If I don't help sweep the floor today, the staff are going to have my head.
It's a big head. What are they going to do with it? Throw it at somebody? Break a window? I don't know what that happened.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Okay, I'm going to answer. Hammer.
Yeah, I'm going to answer DJ's question here real quick about shipping to the States. The thing you need to be aware of is that you will get stuck with duties from Canada to the States if you are purchasing things that cost more than $800.
That's just the law, man.
Yeah, and there's not really much we can do about it. If you're looking at that, like our little sneaky workaround is make more than one order. You get free shipping on stuff over $200, so make more than one order if you're nearing that $800 mark.
If it's something that's more than $800, we're not going to lie and put the wrong price on. I know some people will do that. We don't play these games. I don't like being illegal. I don't want to be fearful of answering the phone.
Yeah.
So we don't do illegal stuff. Thank God marijuana is legal now.
It's true. A lot less trouble. So
I might try it now. Now that it's legal, I might try it, Chris.
You give it a go, eh? That's Canadian, I believe. I think it's
800 US.
Oh,
800 US.
800 US.
Going into the States. And I say that with
go.
confidence, but I might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's 800 US.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they wouldn't have the currency set in Canadian dollars. That'd be stupid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because 800 US is like 97,000 Canadian dollars, I think.
That's true. It's like 14 houses worth.
Yeah. Like 800 US is a lot of money. Yeah. Talking about US currency, the British pound, when's that going to be the same as parity as the Canadian dollar?
Oh, it's getting closer. I was looking the other day.
I know. I can't wait to go back to London for holiday. Yeah. It's going to be so cheap.
Yeah. But here, tell us the story about the city council thing.
Well, this is okay. This is a weird thing. The Calgary City Council is trying to pass this thing. They did a big study. It's hard to explain, but they did a big study about how to make different areas of the city improved, right?
Yeah.
And this is part of this, the last kind of piece of public consultation before they vote on it to rectify this thing. And that's really not the important part. But the important part is they're holding the meetings virtually because there's this thing going on, Chris. Do you know about it? There's a pandemic. There's a pandemic, I tell you. It's the weirdest thing. Apparently, it's a pandemic. People are getting sick everywhere. I know about this. I had to wear a mask, if you can believe it. Anyway. Bob Smith says his $975 US knife was duty-free. So they missed one, so that's good. Anyway, there's this pandemic going on, so they're holding these meetings virtually, and you can just phone in on a telephone. So any old idiot can just like stand up and speak at these things, which is great, because usually you do it in person. But yesterday, and I wasn't listening, I wasn't paying attention, but a lot of people told me about it. Apparently, some guy phoned in and said that his name was Kent Manning, not Kevin Kent, but Kent Manning. And then he said some racist stuff about First Nations people in Calgary, which should have got him turned off immediately, but he didn't for some reason. And then he went on to explain that he wasn't Kevin Kent of Inglewood, and he isn't a scruffy, bearded, long-haired guy with libtard ideas. And apparently just went off. Apparently. I haven't seen the transcripts. I didn't listen, but people have been sending me all kinds of messages. Apparently he went off talking about me. Like he was very upset about me, and he wanted to make everyone know that he wasn't me. And I'm glad, because then apparently he sent more racist shit after. And he said that he didn't want certain people moving into his neighborhood because they were wrong. They weren't a good fit. And then my counselor from my area that I live in, she said, "What do you mean wrong people?" He goes, "Well, they're just not a good fit." And she goes, "Do you mean their skin color?" And he said, "Yeah, and the country they come from." And then the counselor that's for our area where the knife shop is, our counselor there said, "That is the most overt racist thing we've had ever said in council." And then apparently they cut him off after that. But for some reason he wanted to call up, say a bunch of racist stuff, and then also make the point that he wasn't me, which is great. Because that's a real bonus, I think, because I don't want people to think that I would say these racist things. So there you go. That's my weird story for the day.
That's a weird one for the day. Well, here's a good question to answer before we say goodbye. Because I think this is the longest show we've ever done. And for some reason, everyone is still watching. That's the weird bit for me.
Go unlike and dissubscribe right now.
Unlike and yeah. So, blank, yes. Blank, a lot of these people do originally come from Canada.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, so I think he reserved his racism for everybody that wasn't white. So I think he began with First Nations racism and then moved on to immigrant racism as well.
Yeah.
From my sounds of it.
So
there you go. But the positive thing is he pointed out that he wasn't me. I have no idea why I was singled out by this idiot, but there you go.
He didn't say that he also wasn't Chris Lord.
He didn't say that. No, he just said he wasn't Kevin Kent. He also called me Knife Nerd, which is my Twitter handle, and also said I don't sell. He said like some crazy stuff, like I don't have a beard, and I don't have long hair, and I don't sell razors in Inglewood. But apparently he went off about me. So there you go.
You probably blocked him one day. You probably like trolled this guy on Twitter.
I probably should have blocked him. He sounds like a dick.
Yeah. Well, here, Spoon Monkey has asked an interesting question, and then I'm going to say goodbye because this is. It was not me. I don't say shit like that. I start fights in grocery stores with people who say shit like that. Blank. I don't say shit like that.
You do, and gas stations.
I don't have patience for people who are saying things like that to other people. I tend to get involved very quickly. I learned that about myself unknowingly. I didn't always know that about myself until I found myself dealing with someone like that one day.
I like that you found out that you like to get in the middle of altercations at a gas station on your holidays.
Yeah. Turns out day one of a vacation with your family, it's perfectly acceptable to get into a fist fight in a gas station parking lot. So, but you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. If you are so entitled that you feel it's necessary to belittle a senior citizen in a parking lot, I hope someone stands up and says something to you.
Well, I'm glad you were there to say something to those people.
You know what? If someone was harassing I say my mom, but my mom would kick the shit out of them on her own.
She scares me.
Yeah, my mom's pretty
Yeah.
tough. She's not big, but she's tough. But yeah, no, I would hope that someone would stick up and defend my parents.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I am friendly if you're nice, Iggy. But if you're a piece of shit, I'll tell you so, and I'll deal with it. Or
Blank says, I thought Canadians were supposed to be friendly. They are, except for the racist assholes.
Yeah, there's a handful who are real shit. Okay, I want to answer Spoon Monkey's question and then go home because I'm tired. Who is the most interesting person you have ever spoken to, knife related or not?
Most interesting. Chris Lord's pretty interesting.
You know what? I have a pretty interesting person who no one would ever have heard of this person. But the first house I bought was on Baseline Road here in Ottawa. It's near Algonquin College. And I had two, actually on either side of me, two elderly neighbors. And I used to go out and I would help them shovel their driveways. Because like the one guy, Vince was 90 years old and the other fellow was 70. And I never knew the other fellow's name. But Vince worked in the military. He was an engineer in the military. And he was brought over to England in World War II to help develop tanks for Britain. He also he got a job when he was from rural Nova Scotia. I can't remember exactly where. But he did a ton of backpacking through the wilderness in Nova Scotia to help like write the maps. Like he did a lot of the surveying and whatnot for the maps.
What?
Yeah, so I used to go over. I'd help shovel his driveway, and his wife, her name was Ruth, and she would always invite me in. I'd have a cup of tea. And I was just trying to be like a nice neighbor, you know. And at first, it was just kind of a polite thing to do, but then I found it very. I liked I liked the stories they were telling me. I really liked it. And then on the other side, my neighbor was originally from Lebanon and had come here to avoid, the constant civil unrest that's going on over there. And he told me all kinds of stories. He was a university professor and just, yeah. So like, those are the kinds of people I find very interesting. People who've done some living, you know? So I don't have a famous person as an answer, and it has nothing to do with knives, but both of those people really stuck out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Vince, I can't remember Vince's last name. But I remember I had a party one time during the summer, and it's when I worked at the gastropub. I invited all my coworkers and everyone, but I made sure I invited Vince and Ruth as well. And they were like the guests of honor. Vince just sat over in the corner in my living room. I made sure he had a comfortable chair. He drank a Coors Light with a straw. I'll always remember that. And my mom was there too. It was just like a big summer barbecue. And yeah, no, everyone made sure if Vince wanted a beer, he had a beer. He didn't have to get out of the chair. It was a good day. So
that's funny. I like that.
Yeah. So that's the most interesting person I got.
Yes, white Canadians are the ones that are originally trespassing on this land, owned by first peopled by the First Nations people. And Damon says, this is not the best topic to explore on the Knife Channel. I come here to escape the real world. Sorry, dude. It was public. It was a thing. It was a weird thing that happened to me yesterday. Yeah. That at City Council in a town of 1.3 million people, they decided to talk about racism or be racist, and then also make sure everybody knew he wasn't me, which is weird. That's the weird part. That I was included. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
And Spoon Monkey says Bob Ross or Bob Kramer. I'm going to pick Bob Kramer because I know Bob a little bit, and he helped. He read over my my chapter about Damascus steel in the book I wrote and gave me the thumbs up on it. So I knew, because I wanted to test all the facts with him.
Yeah.
But Bob Ross, if I wanted someone to paint me some happy little clouds.
Yeah, if I was looking to fall asleep, Bob Ross, what he does for work helps me fall asleep better than what Bob Kramer. Like, I don't want to listen to Bob Kramer work if I'm trying to go to sleep.
No.
Much louder.
No, that would be bad. Okay, listen, before anybody asks a question, we should leave. Don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe.
Dislike, unsubscribe. We'll be here again next Tuesday.
Or not. We might get canceled. I hope Chris Armitage And send any fan mail to Chris with a CHRIS at Knifewear. Send any complaints to Chris with a KRIS at knifewear.com.
And I've got any of the photos that I didn't show today. Thank you very much for sending them. I put them in a folder, and we'll look at them next week. I wrote down.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, I put them. I've got your name and where you're from put in the file name of the picture, so I shouldn't forget.
Sounds perfect.
All right. Yes, Admiral Longstash Bob Ross is good left-handed TV. Perfect.
Such good left-handed TV.
All right. Everyone, have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace out. Ciao.